schedule.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
Here we are.
The moment.
It's a day of rejoicing that I'm no longer planning this event.
Couple ground rules. There will be some malfunctions, and when that happens, I might just disappear, so you won't hear it. But if somebody else disappears, you hear, which means we apologize for our technical difficulties. We'll be dropping a price or giving something away. So do hang out and let's see what happens.
So we have the amazing, I don't want to take too much of Ryan's time here because Ryan has an awesome setup for us. Who knows if anyone else's setup will be better than this? I doubt it. So Ryan with Rustic Percussion. Ryan, tell us what you got for us. We're excited to have you.
All right. Oh my gosh, we got the canned applause and everything?
Yes.
Yes, this is fantastic. You know, I was hoping you guys would have like a drum track so it feels like I'm actually at like another convention.
Like we could make it really noisy for you, so it's just like you're in an expo hall.
Shout over everybody, you know. Anyways, John, Matt, thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Ryan Langford. I'm the owner and founder of Rustic Percussion. I'm based out of Downey, California, in Southern California. I started this company about 2 years ago, just a little over 2 years ago. And it has been a real pleasure to be able to make instruments that have now been shipped all around the world.
I gotta say, Ryan, I think particularly in the last like 4 months, your stuff has like legitimately blown up. Like I'm not even being sarcastic. I see you everywhere with people that are using your stuff. You're all over social media in all the right ways, and I honestly do have to compliment you for the presence that you have, because, and also the logo. I wish that we had to look at our logo. So yeah, congrats on your success so far. And if you don't know about Ryan, you should. So please tell us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been really wild to see where it's gone. I mean, I have vendors in Hong Kong now, all across the United States. Lone Star, Steve Weiss, percussion stores, Pro Drum in Hollywood. I got my stuff now at Juilliard and Curtis and the LA Phil, Iceland, all over the place. It's unbelievably humbling and just totally wild that the stuff that I'm making here in my little tiny shop is starting to spread out. So, yeah, crazy. So let's go ahead and start off with our flagship product, which is our Paduk temple blocks. So this was the first item that I made for the company.
They're so shiny.
Yes. It's that candy shell, you know, that protective. So unlike pretty much every other company, the reason my temple blocks are different first is because I use Paduk as the playing surface. Now, I'm sure most of you are well aware that they use Paduk on marimbas and xylophones and everything. So when I was looking at everybody's temple blocks and why they were all made out of plywood, birch ply all the way around, I had no idea. So I figured, hey, why not try Paduk and see what happens? And I was thoroughly surprised with the results. With it being a tone wood, you just get the resonance and the articulation that is just unmatched when you're comparing to other temple blocks. So this comes in a set of 5 blocks. There are different mods available as far as like mounting bars. Pretty much anything we do, I can do custom work. So if you're ever interested in anything like wacky, I love making that stuff. So, you know, let me know.
Now, what do those run for, Ryan?
So these retail for $385. Yeah.
And where do you is it your site, or you had mentioned Lone Star before we actually went live?
Yeah, so you can order them. My full catalog is available at Steve Weiss Music, but you can also get the temple blocks from Lone Star Percussion, Percussion Source, O's Music in Hong Kong. So if you happen to be over there.
How much time until John's Third Floor Bazaar becomes a dealer of Rustic Percussion?
Give me a call,
Let's
baby.
talk, baby. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
We're interested in your scraps. Like, you got anything that's like, you know, yeah.
Oh, I got all kinds of scraps, man, all over the place. You should see my bookshelf. It's full of scraps. Yeah. So I'll give you like a little playing sample of the temple blocks real quick. Very clear, very articulate. They sound phenomenal in a concert hall and outdoors.
Man, you were born to play that lick from what is that? It's a band piece, right? I can't even remember
Yeah,
or
Korean folk song,
Korean folk song, baby.
I think. Yeah. Um,
I gotta say that like I don't know if I'm just like in a really great mood and I'm like buttering you up because I'm happy about this, but they even through the like computer speaker they sound like very clear, you know, like very tone. Anyway,
That's why
go on.
temple blocks are the perfect instrument. It's, you know, it records, you can, a lo-fi situation, it's the original recording instrument.
Yes.
and they work great with all kinds of different implements. I usually recommend the M130s. It's like a soft rubber mallet.
Oh no.
But I mean, I've had people play them with, I mean, yard mallets because I've seen a lot of setups where it's marimba and temple blocks, like satellite above it, where they've had to play with that, and it's still crystal clear articulation, very great. So our next product we have here is our slapstick. It's made out of white ash and has walnut handles. Nice oversized, so you don't have to worry about pinching your fingers anywhere. You know, because I mean, how many times have you done one of these? You know, hopefully never. That would suck. Yeah. Um, yeah. So this is again a little bit different from what everybody else is doing. There's a couple other companies. Nobody's using white ash. I kind of after testing, I don't know, about 30 different species of wood, I came up with this one sounding the best. And I think because they also use this for Major League Baseball bats, and you that like iconic crack. You know, when you hear somebody hitting a grand slam,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I like that. Yeah, so that's why I went with this species particularly. Has inlaid hinges.
Nice.
On the inside. The all the hardware is hidden with walnut dowels as well.
Nice.
So my thing is always like it's always twofold. It has to sound good, and it has to be like visually appealing as well.
Nice.
And all of my products follow a two-tone color scheme for the most part. Hence the white ash and the walnut handles. And yeah, this thing is. I'm not sure how well that will come over the speakers, but it slaps. It carries real well. Um, all right, so let's see. One of our newest products is the mallet rack.
Yeah, I didn't realize as you were saying before that you've got multiple sizes for them.
Yes, yeah, that's a new thing. It sort of happened by accident. Like I glued some of these crooked, and I was like, oh man, I got to chop those off. And then it was like, wait a minute, I'll make a smaller mallet rack. Yeah. So the standard is a 10 pair, but then there's also an 8 and a 6. And they are made out of walnut. Very
And those aren't. I mean, it sounds silly, but I feel like wow, that looks very nice. I feel like there's like a stigma almost that the mallet racks like that are only for timp mallets. I feel like that's where you see it more so. But as you can see on yours, like you've got all sorts of all sorts
so
of.
my marimba is just on the other side of the mallet rack here, and that's what I use it for. I use it for all my marimba mallets. Yeah, it was designed for timpani, but it is a catch-all. I mean, designed for drumsticks, obviously. But yeah, it's great for mallet players. I think I've sold just as many to mallet players as I have to timpanists.
Nice.
So, and then a couple of the features on here. So it's again a walnut body with maple dowels, maple posts, and they are all covered in a plastic so that you don't get any sort of clickety clacks when you're trying to hang up your mallets, because you don't want any unwanted sound when you're
you're covering literally all the bases. All the bases.
And then on top of that, I've inserted a rubber sleeve into here as well, just so you protect the longevity of your cymbal stand a little bit, you know, because you don't want just things grinding into it all the time. Yes, and these retail for $110 for the mallet racks.
You're giving them away. You're giving them away.
That's for the 10 rack. You know what?
You should raise your prices. We drop prices a lot at the Bazaar. John's kind of an expert in dropping the prices. You should raise your prices because what you make is a lot nicer than what we sell.
That sounds like an introductory offer. We'll talk. Yeah.
We'll talk. Yeah, okay. And then, so those are our mallet racks. And then another one of our better selling items here is the Purple Heart planks. So this, again, was sort of birthed out of necessity. I had a lot of people that were playing rebonds. Obviously, that's a very, very popular piece to play while you're at.
It's one of John's favorites, actually.
Oh, nice.
It's my alarm in the morning, and it's usually what I go to sleep listening to.
His wife loves it.
Yeah. So basically, it was something, again, where it was like, hey, can you make me a set of these? And then it was like, yeah, for sure. And after making a few and selling them, it really started to pick up. And it was just, again, one of those things where it's like nobody was really doing it. So I found my niche, and I kind of just.
I actually was going to say that is that you definitely found a market that you are able to mass produce, well, not necessarily mass produce, but make larger quantities of things that are A, in demand, but B, I don't know another person that makes Purple Heart planks, at least that is established like you are.
Yeah, there's nothing else that's commercially available. And again, for me being just myself, that's the business, and my dog, of course. I try to fly under the radar of the big companies. But who knows what'll happen. So like if somebody else wanted to start making these, there was a bigger company that would probably take me out. But I mean, that's one of those things. That's business. So it is what it is.
Just because we know each other, I think through this kind of stuff, but in terms of, I don't know your background very well, Ryan, but you do, I imagine, come from a classical percussion background.
Yes. Yeah.
And I imagine that these are probably pieces that you've played and studied. So you put the time in to not only learn the music, but learn what implement is going to be best.
Absolutely. So like I come from, I have a degree in my degree is in percussion performance. But I also, my day job, if you will, like pre-corona, was playing drums at Disneyland. So so that's my gig as a professional musician. And then of course I do rustic percussion. And yeah, I've always been able to take the knowledge that I've gained from, being a percussionist for the last 25 years, and studying it my whole life, and then complementing that with all the woodworking and everything, which I'm actually fairly new to. I've always been a tinkerer, but I didn't really dive into the woodworking super hard until the company started.
Awesome.
And it was a steep learning curve, but
I was gonna say you at least have me very fooled based on how good everything looks. So
thank you. Yeah. Well, again, like my dad always taught me, you eat with your eyes first, and I kind of have taken that into this. And obviously, in our business, sound is of the utmost important. It's got to sound good. But there's no reason why it can't also be beautiful.
So Ryan, since we're at 6:14, any last thoughts just before we move on to our next presenter here?
Let's see. Everything. So the Purple Heart planks, you can order custom pitches. That is available. This set happens to be D flat pentatonic. So all of that can be done if you email me directly.
And what would that email be?
That's rusticpercussion@gmail.com.
And what's your website?
And the website is rusticpercussion.com. Facebook at Rustic Percussion. Instagram at Rustic Percussion. Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for the continued support. The fact that I get to do this for a living is freaking awesome. So thank you guys for carrying me here for 2 years. John and Matt, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. We're going to let Mike in, so we will see you later. And enjoy your night. Everybody check out Rustic Percussion.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna let Mike. Thank you. I'm gonna let Mike in here.
So you're the guy. Are you?
Damn.
I gotta ask this. Are you John Singer?
Me? I am John Singer. That's me. So let's see. I wonder if Mike is in here. Let's see. So Mike, your camera's off.
I know. Let me figure that out.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Hey, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great, man. I can hear you great.
I got the AirPods, and I'm also in a very boomy room.
Yeah, it sounds a little echoey,
so-
but I think it's just the acoustics. I think you're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
two
Mike,
things that-
We are
Go ahead.
live. So why don't you tell us who you are? Tell us what you're going to show us today, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, my name's Mike Windish. My company is Windish Music and Productions. I do like to pace when I talk on the phone. So you're going to see a
It's
lot
all
of
good.
this. You don't get dizzy. But I got to say, my background is percussion. I was a percussionist in school. I studied performance and education. And somehow I got into producing shows at theme parks. So back in the early 2000s, I was working at parks like Hershey Park, and slowly every summer doing more and more work. In fact,
So, Mike, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think you forgot one important thing, which is, if I remember correctly, didn't you play drums for Chubby Checker?
yeah, yes, I did. I was Chubby's drummer for 7 years, and I was also his tour manager and his music director. That came later.
I couldn't let you gloss over that.
Yeah, oh man, I learned so much from Chubby. We call each other on our birthdays. His birthday was in October. And man, we saw the world together. I learned so much from him and all the artists we got to play with. All the greats from that era. So yeah, I would never want to gloss over that, and that was a very formative part of my experience as a performer and drummer.
Awesome.
But yep, and I met him at a theme park. I met him at Hershey Park. I was directing a brass band. He came with his tour bus and performed at a local theater. And so I brought the brass band over to play for him. So it was a nice little elevator speech moment. Yes, I started in theme parks, slowly got into cruise ships as well. Even with Chubby, we played a lot of cruise ships. And over the time, since about 2003, 2004, we've been providing jobs for musicians, gigs from theme parks to resorts to one-offs to 3 to 6 month residencies. Of course, people can be on ships for a long time, but as you know, March 13th, 2020, all that changed.
Yeah.
So we have been pivoting a whole lot, as well as really trying to help stay engaged with our performers, provide as many performances as possible, as well as, if there's performances happening in those industries, we've been a part of them. We've had jobs this summer at multiple theme parks that were able to open in a safe manner. We can gladly say all the employees and performers we've had, there have been no positive tests for COVID during this 2020 time when we've had work. But as you know, for all musicians, the work is much more minimal. It's a sad thing, but it's also, I think, Matt, you and I were talking about this. I see that.
We got a question about. Yeah.
That's the question alarm, Mike, by the way, if you haven't noticed.
Okay.
Also, have you noticed John's background?
I just did. Yeah, I was like, I thought he was in our basement.
I crept in.
Yeah, the horn, and then the fact that he's in one of our studios. I'm upstairs and he's downstairs. Sort of flipped me out for a moment.
So what's the question, John?
This one comes from Frank Zambrano. Is there any update on auditions for Windish for summer theme park productions yet?
I think Frank and I were talking on Instagram the other day. So
Frank's
hello,
a nice
Frank.
guy. He's a friend of the Bazaar.
Yes. He reached out. We have a lot of our contracts that we do when we're producing entertainment have been amended, addendum. There's an addendum to 2021. So a lot of things we were going to do in 2020 that were obviously paused or postponed are planning to happen in 2021. And that said, some of the parts we worked with this summer, we're already going to work with in 2021. We're contracted, we're ready to go. We keep an ear to the ground for the cruise ship industry as well, and keep in touch with our clients and our partners there. So basically, part of this I'll share with you is our website is Windish Music. My last name, WINDISH music.com. But we also share a lot of information on our Facebook and Instagram, keeping our ear to the ground and letting performers know what's possible. So keep in touch with me, Frank, and anyone else about those opportunities, because until about March, since early 2000s, it's been pretty. It was very vibrant. We had a lot going on.
So, Mike, since we've got about 10 minutes here, time's flying by too quick. I know you did want to show some of your new studio. Give us a little tour, maybe. Whatever you want to do next, but I'm like itching to see it personally myself. So.
Okay, well, I'm upstairs and apparently John is downstairs. But this is the big room. That's why it's so boomy. And this was meant to be a danceable space. I don't know if this works in a way where I can flip it. Okay, I can flip it. Yeah.
So
basically, are you down there, John?
I crept in. I don't know if you can see me in the corner.
Are you in this? Are you in this kick drum here? John, are you?
What is it? Nice scratch drum.
Oh yeah, it's an old
I think you have
60s
nicer
scratch.
furniture than my living room in there.
Well, the thing is that this was built to be a flexible room. It was danceable. We have a theater company that would like to rent this and use it as a danceable stage. So we were going to put mirrors up on the wall. I'm going to say a lot of we're going to do this. We were going to do this.
I'm sure
because
you're
things got
I'm sure
paused.
you're in limbo to a certain extent until this kind of phase for everyone is over.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean, we still have this space and we have modified it. So this upstairs is stay a lounge, but we will modify this, of course, that people can use it and make it a larger space for distancing. It's about 20 feet deep and a little less than 40 feet wide. So
Wow.
it's about the size of some of the stages we work with. So we were blocking shows in here and percussion groups, small percussion groups, large dance groups prior to the pandemic.
Nice.
So I'm going to flip. Oh, here I am. Okay. And so this is twofold. You know, I wanted to share that this space exists outside of Philadelphia and Westchester, Pennsylvania, and that we have streaming capability and we have multiple rooms. This is one of the large rooms. We have 3 small ones that John is hiding in. And I'll show you those rooms. But also we are unloading a lot of show gear, things that we use in different shows that we used in residencies. And I mean, you name it, it's anything from world percussion to Native American drums to even some of these vintage drums that were used maybe in like a jazz stage. Some of them were like props. You know,
So do you provide most of the instruments to your performers?
It depends. So if it's a show at a park or a cruise ship, the instruments for like drummers especially are provided. They have to bring their sticks and their pedals, but a guitarist or any other instrumentalist who kind of carry their own axe would have to provide their own. Of course, because they want to play theirs. But we have, I mean, I've done everything from a uke bass to upright bass because it was supposed to be more of a postmodern jukebox style, things that maybe performers don't have, but it like looks good to the vibe. I mean, even like joking about these Gretsch drums, they were purchased for a country show or jazz, I forget, but they're just because they're unwrapped. You know, we have some of this stuff laying around we are willing to get rid of, you know, but just right now it's ornamental and it sounds great.
You had met the aesthetic of the time and now it's time to move them on to the next owner.
Yes, yeah. And like I have some world drums that we got in Belize, you know, on some of the ships that I was teaching on Semester at Sea. I don't know if you know that program, but I did like an alumni thing and we stopped in Belize and then we started using these in some of our world shows, you know, just for like a weekend or two. And so we have some silly stuff that we're throwing on our website. I'm going to walk you downstairs and so I don't spend too much time. Sanitizer, gloves.
Nice. Important. Ooh, takes your temperature.
Yeah.
Dude, that's very high tech. Very cool. Uh-oh. Our first technical difficulty. We have to drop a price down. Hopefully we'll get Mike back in a second here. I imagine that he probably lost his Wi-Fi going from one floor to the next.
What are we gonna drop?
So actually, we can talk about prices that we've already dropped today. Oh, I think Mike is he's back from the dead potentially. So we have a Sabian 40-inch gong, right? Up.
Okay, we got a Sabian 40-inch gong that is 40 inches. So I trip over it a lot. It's like mint condition except for all the tripping, and it's priced. What did I knock it down to?
1,100, I believe.
Yeah, I'm taking a loss, as they say. No, this isn't about a guilt trip, but I'm just saying that's an excellent price. I think those go for like $1,650 new, if I'm not mistaken. So it's down to 1,100. And if you know, we'll do a payment plan.
Are we offering a payment plan on that?
We lost Windish, so let's do.
I do want to button. Sorry. So 1,100. We're doing a payment plan on it.
If you want.
Yeah. But that would probably be if you pick it up versus ship it, right? Shipping would cost you actually.
No, free shipping.
Wow. So with that in mind, I do want to button things up on Mike Windish. He's such a great guy. I feel bad leaving him here. But So Mike sent me a little bit of information. I think we lost him. Can you go back to the basement photo, John, for Mike?
Oh, right.
Since we have it. So Mike's got this really great studio, right? And if you see, this is more of a rehearsal recording space. Oh, Mike, are you back? Nope, maybe. Anyway, so Mike sent me a bunch of his stuff. So whoop, is he back?
It's a tease.
It's a tease. But Mike sent me his website. It's windishmusic.com/professional-studio-rentals/ for you to check out his professional studios. He's got used equipment for sale too. If you go to windishmusic.com/gear, it looks like he's got all sorts of stuff on there. I'm actually going to open this link real quick and see. Maybe the Bazaar wants to buy some things, but it looks like he's got octobans for sale. He's got a couple powwow drums, 50 cymbals. Wow.
We should talk. We got to talk.
Bunch of cymbals. We're going to have to talk to Windish. But Mike's website looks like really sleek and clean. He's like the most approachable guy ever. When I was at University of Minnesota Duluth doing my master's, Mike came out to audition people all the way. And he came all the way to Minnesota. And when he came out, he auditioned a bunch of people. And he goes to, I know a buddy of mine who went to school in Tennessee as well. He went out and auditioned people in Tennessee. So he's all over the place. He puts people at theme parks, cruise ships, all sorts of stuff at a time when musicians are in need of work. Mike Windish could be your next gig. How about that?
How about that? Let's keep it moving along.
So we've got next we're gonna have Bill Whitney coming in of Calderwood Percussion. But quickly, just before we let Bill in, John, I'm thinking that maybe we talk quickly about this marimba situation. We have a Van Sice marimba.
Oh, for rent.
For rent, yes. We do have a 5-octave for rent. There's been a lot of demand for 5-octave rentals. So if you're someone that's interested in a 5-octave marimba, we do offer delivery with a small cartage fee. It's not a Bergerac, which you see in John's background right now, although we do have one of those in our inventory. It's just currently rented.
So we have right now 2 instruments available for rent, a Mallet Tech MJB and a, help me out, what did you just say? A 5-octave.
The Adams Van Sice 5-octave
on a field frame.
It's on a field
Yeah,
frame.
both are just beautiful instruments that are going to.
Rosewood bars, they sound great.
So those are available for rent, and because of the state of things, if you are interested in purchasing, either we could talk or do like a aggressive rent to own. The rental on those, I think right now is you could what is it,
3-month minimum on those.
3-month minimum, $150 a month usually for and
$150 for the field frame. Yep.
Yeah, so a payment plan puts you like at like 500, 600 a month or something like that, just to give you an idea. But we will part with them because I know you can't tell, everything's looking so neat here, but there's a lot of stuff all over the place. And I'm tired of tripping over this stuff. So there you go.
All right, it's just about 6:30. Next on the list, another friend of the Bazaar, Mr. Bill Whitney. Let him in here now. All right, can you hear me, Bill?
Hey.
We've got no video, but here. Oh, dude, you're in the shop. So I recently delivered something to Bill in his shop, and I was actually hoping you would be here because even cooler than anything else was just like looking at your shop going in there.
Well, cool. Thanks, man.
How are you, man? How's everything going?
Doing all right. Yeah, just making stuff.
Making stuff. What do you have in front of you right there?
Well, I kind of brought out a variety of toys here.
I see that. There's a lot of drums in the vicinity.
Yeah. So, for people that aren't familiar with Calderwood Percussion, it's a small custom company. It's mostly me, especially during pandemic time. It's just kind of mostly me here making stuff. But my thing is, I do some drum sets, but I'm more into concert percussion and historical reproductions and in general just kind of the weird stuff. Rope tension, obviously, as you can see, is one of my things. So I just kind of got out sort of a selection. Just this right here in front, if you're interested, this is
Oh wow.
kind of a drum set snare.
Wood
With one
hoop.
of our real special finishes.
I'm a big wood hoops guy.
Me too.
So now, Bill,
Hold on. You can't just flash a drum like that at a camera and just mosey on back there. A little, I know we don't have that much time, but some details. That thing looks like the Joker in a cylindrical format.
Yeah. So my my wife is a professional ballet dancer, and she makes a lot of costumes. So our house is always full of crazy fabrics. So this is
oh,
actually
so that's fabric.
yeah, this is a silk brocade. It's fully adhered to the shell, so it's you know it's very much part of the drum. The hardware is I do the powder coating here, and you know we fabricate the hoops. It's a maple shell,
Wow.
but just with this really cool brocade. And we have a bunch of different fabrics like this, you know, in a variety of.
Now is that drum sold or is that drum for sale?
This is available $475 plus shipping.
Wow. So
You know.
475. I feel like that looks like that's a incredibly custom drum for under $500.
Yeah, well, like you guys, the longer I hold on to something, the more the price goes down. So I've been, you know, this has been to a couple PASICs and a bunch of different like
Gotcha.
custom drum shows and things. It's been on some gigs and it's still in fantastic condition. It's in new condition, but I mean, you know, I've been hanging on to it for a while. I'd like to have some resources to allocate to some other new prototype thing. So
Right.
475 and yours, buddy.
Beautiful.
Should
Now,
we buy that?
I gotta say, Bill, I since we have limited time, I'm gonna be selfish. You gotta show off that bass drum that you showed me when I was at
Oh
the-
yeah.
This thing is like, okay, so I know that Zoom is not gonna give it justice, but when I delivered some stuff to Bill's shop and Bill was like, can you just check this out, Matt? And I'm like, I'm wondering what he's gonna show me. And he brings up this rope tension bass drum, which literally I think my stomach sank when he hit it. It was like that. It's wild. It's very large.
Yeah, so this is 25 inches by 36 inches. And obviously rope tension. I'm a huge fan of rope tension drums in general, but using rope tension drums in a modern orchestral setting for a number of reasons. For one, I actually really like single tension drums. I think the way that the tension between the heads kind of naturally balances is actually really cool. You can't necessarily tune it to a specific pitch the way you might with other drums, but what you can get is a beautiful resonant sound. Rope tension drums, the shells are of course free floating, so that adds a different sort of dimension to resonance. Another cool thing, so this drum has 12. If you're unfamiliar with rope drums, you tune them by moving these leather. They're called ears or buffs, and if you're in England, up and down to tension or loosen. This drum has 12 ears, but by putting some all the way up, you have effectively removed them from the system. So you can tune this as a 12 lug drum or as a 6 lug drum, which is pretty cool. And another nice thing is there's almost no metal on this drum. The stand is entirely made of birch plywood, which we made that here as well. So there's almost nothing on this drum that can rattle.
So
Which is-
I guess my question too is that how does I don't remember particularly, but do you use some sort of rubber or what do you use to actually mount the drum to the stand?
It's just on a bungee. It's a pretty conventional sort of suspension. But I don't know how much this microphone is picking up of that, but
I think that's about as bad as you would expect Zoom to sound, but you can tell that it's low pitched and it's very resonant.
yeah. So when I first made this thing, I did some kind of like frequency analysis tests on it, and I mean down around like 29 hertz.
Yeah.
It's pretty loud. And so what you wind up with is this kind of like low end sort of pressure that you can kind of hear throughout the hall. We did with my orchestra, we did Symphony Fantastique, And you know, in I think the last movement where there's that kind of real exposed bass drum roll that's like pianissimo. This thing, I mean, it just sounded like fear. Like it was awesome. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. And this kind of recessed hoop, it's kind of like a Yamaha style hoop, except for a rope drum, which I can't fully take credit for. It's based on a few other people's designs that they kind of sort of put together to make this idea.
So if it's similar to the Yamaha drum, is there a serial number on that bass drum? That's definitely an inside joke that only 10 people will understand. But anyway, continue. That's awesome, man.
So yeah, that's what that's about.
So I guess my question is if the typical Bazaar viewer, meaning that regular, who's somebody that I could pick on in the Bazaar?
Greg's probably here.
Yeah, say like I don't know, Mark Hill wants to buy a snare drum, right? What is the most accessible product that you think is practical, that you think you're well known for, and that someone might maybe see someone else playing? For me, I would probably think it's your piccolo drum that you have right there. I've seen a decent amount of people that play those, and they look really sharp.
Yeah, so that's actually what I was going to say. This piccolo, this is the same spec as the piccolo snares that we do for all the productions of Hamilton.
Nice.
So on the soundtrack to Hamilton, the really super tight hip hop snare is one of these.
And,
so
who's that playing on that on Hamilton? Who is it that plays on Hamilton again?
I don't know, some guy.
Oh.
Andre Patrick Ferraro, I believe is his name.
All right. And he endorses your products or no?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, but he does play them.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, actually, in all fairness, Andre did give me a nice shout out in Modern Drummer.
Oh,
once. Cool. So that was nice payment for the drums that I made him. So anyway, that really, super tight hip hoppy sound on that soundtrack is one of these. It's 3 3/4 by 12 inches, and these are $275. Well, they start at $275. We can do crazy finishes, and whether or not you want the die-cast tubes, everything's custom. Everything's made one at a time. So we can make anything in any size. We made a 90-inch bass drum for Ottawa University in Kansas last summer. That was a crazy project.
Is that the one in your profile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing. That's a big drum.
Now, where does the name Calderwood come from? Because I thought that, it was funny for a long time when John and I were talking about the Celeste delivery and stuff like that. When I was going to come meet you, he was referring to you as Bill Calderwood, and I thought that was
everybody
does. So, what does Calderwood come from?
It's an old family name. It goes back a couple generations on my dad's side.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know. I always thought it was a cool sounding name. Also, I think, Whitney Drums to me doesn't really sound that great. And then I was looking into it and I was like, oh, there is a company called Whitney Drums.
Oh, wow.
And this guy's stuff is awesome. Like, I don't want to take a swing at this guy. He's making these really cool, interesting, innovative drum sets. He's already got Whitney Drums. I don't really even like that name. So I went with Calderwood.
Nice. I mean, I got to say, I do like your branding a lot. Which, it sounds silly to talk about branding, but John and I have been talking about branding a lot recently because we don't have any at all.
My first dog was a my only dog was a soft-coated Wheaton Terrier named Brandy. We have a comment here from Craig McNutt. Bill can refurbish anything too. So that's, how much refurbishing or other people's projects do you do versus, making stuff?
A fair amount. This is an old J.C. Haynes that's about 3/4 of the way finished.
Oh, wow.
This is probably from 1880 something, I'm gonna guess. And in fact, I have a really, really nice 32-inch George Stone bass drum that I'm not sure how old it is, but it's, more than 100 years old. That is currently for sale. It's kind of buried in a pile of stuff over there. But yeah, I do a lot of vintage restorations. Well, okay. So around here, when I say something is vintage because it was made in the '60s, I mean the 1860s. Like that's how we roll here. And so yeah, we do a lot of rebuilds of very old. I've rebuilt a lot of George Stone drums. A lot of older. I mean, Eames drums aren't that old.
I'm
The
trying
rope
to
drums
get you. I'm
anyway.
trying to get you that stone drum, Bill. That my buddy has.
Oh yeah. He hit me up actually.
Oh, did he? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I will say that one of the things that I think is cool is that you are based out of Massachusetts, and particularly for people who are somewhat involved in the fife and drum community
Yeah.
and things like that, you're local in New England for repair and stuff, and it's definitely helpful to know. At least I think hopefully there are people watching that are going to be kind of hip to find out how close you are for those kind of services if they need them, because I feel like every fife and drum corps you go to, they have a broken drum and they're like, I don't know who to take it to. I can't take it to Reamer anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, but that's awesome.
Yeah, we do a lot of that. And obviously, new drums and full drum lines. And even just for like classical percussionists, orchestral guys that have a rope drum kicking around for like every once in a while when you want like a legit field drum.
Right.
If you're not used to dealing with rope, changing heads is kind of a pain in the ass. It can be kind of a daunting or intimidating thing. And like, honestly, it's not that hard. Like I've been trying to put out more videos on how to do it and so people can do it themselves. But I'm happy to do that stuff. I mean, I change heads and refurbish these things and replace ropes and fix hoops and stuff like that all the time. So I'm happy to do those kinds of things.
Another selfish ask of you, since we only have like 3 minutes left here. Can you show off the rental thing, the staff thing?
Oh, the Turkish Crescent?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is second coolest thing to the bass drum. And you like custom made that, didn't you?
Yeah. So Jonathan Hess, who's the timpanist for Hamlin Haydn Society, hit me up because they were going to do Haydn's 100th, which calls for Janissary percussion. And so like, we need a Turkish Crescent. What do you think? And I was like, I thought you'd never ask. Is what I think. So there is one of these at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, which when I was in high school, my band director had this MFA poster with their musical instrument collection in the band room, and in the center of that poster is a Turkish Crescent, and I always thought it was the coolest thing. So after they asked me to build this, I called the curator of the musical instrument collection at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, and they actually let me into the collection to measure and study and play this Turkish Crescent they have. So this is not quite a replica of that instrument, but it is very, very close to a replica of that instrument, with some concessions made for playability and stability.
I mean,
it's
thing looks crazy. I literally feel like you holding it like that. I feel like I'm looking at like a character out of a video game that's about to destroy me.
Yeah, right. Well, with jingles.
Yeah. Beautiful. So any last thoughts, Bill, before we let you go here? We've got another drum builder, but he's not on your turf. He's in Minnesota coming up next. But any thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, just for anyone that's not familiar, I'm about 20 minutes south of Boston, and I'm happy to make anything. The weirder, the better, as you can see. Hit me up. The website is calderwoodpercussion.com. It's desperately in need of updating. I'm sure you can find the social media links on this. But Calderwood Percussion on Facebook, Calderwood Drums on Instagram.
There's no way there's no way it's worse than thirdfloorbazaar.com. So don't worry.
Fair enough.
So
but I just want to say thanks. Thanks for putting this together. Thanks for having me. This is really cool.
No problem.
Thank you, Bill.
You're a friend of the Bazaar. So thanks, Bill. And if you want to get in touch with Bill, we can get you in touch with him, or you can check out his website, Calderwood Percussion's all over the internet. So awesome, Bill. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
See you.
Peace, guys.
Oh, first cat sighting. Just jumped in a whole thing of guacamole. Let's see. All right, I'm going to let Kelly in here. Move on to TCDC.
This is going a little too seamlessly.
Too seamlessly.
Waiting for the big.
See. Oh, you even have Kelly's shot. Wow, you're on top of it, Singer. You're on top of it. Hey, Kelly.
Hey man, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
You can't see me. Okay, hang on a second.
Oh,
How's-
there he is.
There we go.
Kelly, this is like amazing. You were able to do it first try this time.
Dude, I've been practicing all day. You sent me that message? I have. I didn't want to screw this up. This is a fantastic opportunity. I was like, I'm not going to mess this. I screwed up a lot of other gigs. This one I'm getting right.
All right, so let's start here. I'm biased. I'm gonna say, okay. So we just had Bill Calderwood, who different kind of drum company, great guy, great drums, but I'm biased. This is Kelly Cook from Twin Cities Drum Collective. I have 2 drum sets that were made by Kelly and his buddy Lane, who we will see later, who is doing a read aloud for the viewers. But Kelly, tell us where you're from, tell us what you do, and show off what you want to show off. The floor is yours, man.
Oh, fantastic. Well, my name is Kelly Cook. I am originally from Wisconsin, but my shop is located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in Northeast Minneapolis. It's a great shop. We would like to think of ourselves as Minnesota's premier drum retailer and drum manufacturer. And we're just here trying to facilitate the dreams of drummers like yourself and everybody who might be watching. So
you want to talk about dreams, Kelly? Okay.
Yes.
The actual, if I remember correctly, the actual design of your shop is supposed to be almost as if it's like a brewery where you can see the drums being made and you can try the drums and you can try the cymbals and everything else. That's how it works, right? So your shop.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So when I don't know if you can really guys kind of see it, but when you guys come in the shop, you come in through the door and then you walk and there's a great big wall that runs right down the middle of the shop. And in that wall is a couple of big 4x8 windows that allows you to look into the manufacturing area. So people can come in and they can see just how messy I am and take a look at what we're doing. And it's really great. It provides, you know, I really like to involve people in what they have going on. I really like to talk to them about their builds. I really like to get to know them a little bit. And when they come in, they can see what's going on. They can come back into the shop. They can take a look at the shells that they might be using on their with their particular build. They can ask questions about the process, and it really just kind of like removes that wall between the customer and the manufacturer a little bit.
I think
creates a more personal experience.
One of the coolest things was when you were building me. I have a 13-inch drum that Kelly built me, and during that process, I believe when I put the down payment on it, Kelly was like, "Make sure I have your phone number because I'm going to text you throughout as different steps get done." And it was like, boom, this is the shell that's going to be your drum. Boom, we just put the stain on the outside. How do you think it looks? You can see the grain, right? And I was like, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's really an experience that you get from a major manufacturer. Not to say that larger manufacturers don't make great drums, but you don't get the same experience when you purchase.
Well, it's just it's a function of being a function of size. You get to those bigger levels, and you kind of become a little bit more removed. And that's just a function of the way that those guys do business. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, right? It's just that this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and it's a different experience for the people that choose to engage us in buying our products. I think it's a great thing. I wish that I could talk to the guys at some of the manufacturers on for some of the dream stuff that I would like to have.
Yeah.
And meet the guy who's doing it and talk to him. But it is what it is. I think it's great. I think if you're going to be a retailer in today's day and age, I think you have to do something that sets you and your business apart. You have to have an added level of engagement for people. You need to create that experience. And That's what we set out to do, and I think we're being pretty effective at it. I think we're doing pretty good with it.
Yeah, so I suppose at the bazaar we kind of follow the same model, which is that we just drop the prices until we lose money. But I suppose
Right.
not everyone does that. You know, what do you think what's our thing, John? What sets us apart? You're mute.
I like that we run a what do you say? It's a non-functional business. In fact, this is not going well, Matt. People are logged on for like a long time now. We've given away nothing, as far as I can tell.
I know.
You
like
got it ready. I would like to buy somebody a TCDC T-shirt, please.
Let's do it.
All right,
How do
I'm
you
all
do
about that.
How about this? So we're gonna purchase a TCDC T-shirt. Can you show us off? Do you have any shirts handy there, Kelly?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second.
Sure. So let's talk about how we're gonna do this, John. How about the next person that joins the Third Floor Bazaar mailing list? I'll pull it up in front of me. Sorry to those that are already on it, but the next new person, it says we've got 38 people watching live right now. The next person that goes to thirdfloorbazaar.com, scrolls all the way to the bottom, will get this Twin Cities Drum Collective t-shirt. I will send you an email. Kelly, make sure you hold whatever size this person is going to want.
I got you. We got plenty of stock, man. We're good. We're good in the t-shirt in the t-shirt department as far as our stock is concerned.
So I know, Kelly, that you guys specialize in the custom drums, but you are a fully functioning retail shop too. What brands do you guys sell?
The brands that we deal with, like kind of on the day-to-day basis, we deal with, we're a Ludwig dealer. I'm a huge fan of.
Gotta love the Luddies.
Luddies.
Dude, the Superphonic, it's the best. It's like the gold standard snare drum. They're fantastic. I love them. They're a great product. We deal with, we also do a lot of stuff with Drum Workshop.
Cool.
We sell a fair amount of their hardware.
So does that mean you guys do the LP stuff too and all their other, I guess what's the brands that they do? DW is also, I think, LP.
We oddly enough, we don't get a whole lot of requests for the Latin percussion stuff. We primarily just deal with the DW hardware.
Which honestly, I think is good. I feel like almost too many drum shops don't know their identity. And I feel like if there's a drum shop I know that knows their identity, it's you guys.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
thanks.
You don't try to sell to a market that you don't know as much about. Not to say that you don't know much about Latin percussion, but your niche is definitely in the drum set market. And
yeah, that's really where we focus. Now, if people come in and they have a request and they need something or something like that, obviously we try to have ourselves set up so that we can service those requests.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's today's 2020 brick and mortar. So you need to be cognizant of, the amount of stuff that you have sitting on your shelf. You got, and all of that. And it's, like I said, we get more people coming in looking for drum stuff than we do looking for gyros and cowbells and stuff like that.
So, and you guys you have an online shop as well?
Yeah. So people can go to tcdrumcollective.com, and on there you can see what's available in the shop right now as far as house built kits. Stuff that we build ourselves. So you can look at the kits that we have. You can look at the snares that we have. Talking about other brands that we deal with too. We're also big fans of Sabian cymbals.
So we at the Bazaar, big fans of Sabian?
Yep. So we just got done adding almost Sabian's entire product catalog to our website.
Oh, wow.
So customers can just go to our website and they can order every, any Sabian cymbal that they want, and it'll be shipped directly right to their house. It's a great way for people to support not only the shop, but also their favorite brand.
Nice.
We've done the same thing with Ludwig as well. So you can go onto our site and you can scroll over to the Ludwig page. And right now we just have up all of their snare drums. That's primarily what we're focusing on right now. We're going to be adding more of their product offerings later on. We're a small, nimble shop. It's a time thing.
Yeah.
Other things.
I don't want you to sell yourself short though, Kelly. I mean, it sounds, it's almost, you're almost too humble, I think, with your own stuff, but And I know that nobody wants to talk themselves up too much, but I mean, I'll talk you up. I have, you know, I think Lane, technically, who's your business partner.
Yep.
I think he technically built my other kit.
He
But
did.
you've built, you know, you built
I
my.
built you the better one.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is that I bring up the website because I'm not much of a, you know, John and I joke about this all the time because like people will come, you know, to the bazaar, or they'll see something like, oh, that kid is like, you know, so amazing looking, like, oh, like, you know, like, it's so, oh, it's such a beautiful kid. And like, I'm not big on like that. I'm more of like, if it sounds great, it could look awful to me kind of guy.
Yeah.
I kept going on your website after you launched it, and I saw that Ash kit, and I was like, I just need that drum set.
Oh yeah. So that's kind of speaking to that. That's really kind of one of the areas that I think we really shine. Part of my history is just being a productive person. I went to school to be a furniture maker, and then and then I got involved in construction, and I worked my way from being a carpenter all the way up into the highest levels of construction management. And I did it for very prominent millwork companies here in Minneapolis. And it gave me the opportunity to learn different sources for buying super high-end veneers that, like you saw in that, like we put on your kit. And when people come here and they want something that's truly unique, I go out and I find that stuff. I go out and I find something that you would be hard pressed to find another example of a veneer that quality on drums that we made for you. And I try to do the same thing for all of the customers that we have, you know.
Awesome.
And create that special experience for them. Give them something that's really personal to each person.
It's definitely one of a kind for sure. And I get, not that anyone's been in my house a lot because of COVID, but
right.
Whenever it's like John and I will go live, people will comment like, what the heck is that drum kit? It looks amazing.
Well, that makes me feel very good, man. Thank you very
Matt,
much.
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I appreciate you trying to talk up Kelly.
No, it's serious. I like, you know, I seriously, I get people that comment on it all the time. So we got 2 minutes left, Kelly. What is the most important thing that people should know before we let you go in a minute here about TC Drum Collective?
We do it right. We do it right. We pay attention to the fine details, and we make sure that in the products that we offer you, we are not gimmicky, right? We don't sell you stuff that you don't need, and the stuff that you get from us works. It's predictable, and it lasts a long time. Nice. I think we provide some of the best value for drums out there, period.
And, you know, it's, I'm again talking to my personal experience. John's going to make fun of me again, but I needed a drum throne. And I called Kelly, and I was like, I was on a big, like, want to support small business kick. And I was like, I could buy, you know, this same throne online, but I'm going to buy it from you. And which one should I get? And I think I had two models. I was between the Spinal Glide that Ahead makes and the Rock and Sock. And Kelly was like, honestly, the Spinal Glide will cost you less, and it's probably a better throne. So, you know, good advice, and I'm happy with it. So, Kelly, awesome. Thank you for being with us. Are we going to see you again with Lane at some point, or no?
No, he's going to do his own thing himself. Right. So I will not be with him, but I guarantee you, at some point in time in the future, he and I will be in the same space, and you will see us together.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank
you so much for having me be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks, Kelly.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Check out the site. All right. Thank you.
I got to say that just like it brings me, whenever I hear like a Minnesota accent, it's like funny to me because I like, it just brings me back to my living in Minnesota days. Anyway.
Minnesota accent?
Yeah. The Minnesota accent.
You know.
All right, Kelly, I'm booting you in. We're going to let Patty in. Take it easy, buddy.
All right. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. I'll let Patty in here. Ooh, fancy thumbnail photo.
I'm going into the record store because we're going to talk about our record.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me okay?
There we go.
I can hear you great.
Yes.
Whoa, look at that. That's awesome.
I think I need to change my background up for this. Should I change the background up? I've had this John's Third Floor Bazaar logo, but that's just so boring. You know, you got to do something different. So, John, do you want to introduce?
I'm going
our
to introduce
guest?
Patricia Brennan. Patricia's here not far from me in Brooklyn, just right there. And Patricia's one of my favorite vibraphonists and improvisers and creative type people here. And it's just always great to hear her play and to see what she's up to. So I know we're in a very gear-centric Facebook page, and maybe I don't know, Patricia, you play with some mallets and some vibes, but you're not all over the gear world. So I wanted to shift a little bit and bring you into this to talk about some of the music you're doing. You're making a record, which is like also who does that now. Very exciting, and hopefully we can check some of that out even right now. So give it up for Patricia Brennan. This is me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you've released, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3. You're doing just the audio, or are you making videos along with these things? What's the process of this recording? What's it called? What's going on?
Yeah, so it's called Makishpi, which is a word that I made up based on the Nahuatl word, some native Mexican language from where I'm from, and which means literally, I guess in the general sense, freedom, but freedom in many ways, spiritually, mentally, physically, all those things. And I chose that word just because, you know, as you know me, I'm not the traditional bass player, and that's sort of been the driving force in my musical life, of just like finding that kind of outside the box, or seeing things from a different perspective. So kind of having the freedom to do that, regardless of the instrument you play or the style or whatever. And so that's sort of the what the name represents. So it's actually, it's supposed to be 23 tracks, so it's 2 records, but I'm only releasing one of them, and which happens to be 2 LPs anyway. So it's already 2 records out of 4, I guess. And and there's 2 singles out already. One of them is Sonnet, which is one of the pieces I'm going to share today if we have time. And the other one is Magic Square, which I played, you know, a few years ago in one of your events, and I did it in a solo version this time, with a kind of a different arrangement, and using guitar pedals as effects as well, which is part of the record. So the record is going to be released in January 15 next year on their label called Valley of Search, which is run by Nabil Ayers. It's a great label, you know, and there's other great musicians in it. But what I like about it is like it really covers a wide array of styles of music. It's not just a jazz label or just a classical label or whatever, you know. So but right now you can pre-order the record on Bandcamp and Apple and whatever platform you use. And yeah, that's a little bit. I think I covered everything. I'm trying to go quickly so we don't have time.
Cool.
But yeah.
So now, are you actually releasing a physical record as well, or just digital for the time being?
Yeah, for the time being, you can listen to just the 2 singles, but you can definitely get the physical copy in January once it's actually officially released. So there's a CD form, LP, vinyl, black vinyl, and also there's a limited edition vinyl, which I really love vinyl. It's just the different things that you can do with it. So it's like a different color and all those things.
It's interesting how vinyl is making such a comeback, where actually for me, I don't collect a lot of vinyl, but the coolest thing to me is that you can will a record collection. I know that sounds kind of morbid, but like, you know, like think about all the music that you could collect, and then you could pass it on to another generation. That to me is one of the coolest things. So let's see. The easiest way I think to do this, John just got booted, so
yeah, I saw.
what I'm gonna do is I am going to temporarily make you a host, and then do you want to share your screen to show this off?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So let's see. So there you are. You are the host now,
I got it.
and you can pull your stuff up here.
Okay. So I'm going to share the first video I'm going to share is the single that's out called Sonnet. And this video was actually kind of what started it all. This was the first tune I wrote in the record. It's a very standard composition, kind of more jazz oriented, where you have a head, you improvise, and then you kind of bring the head back out. So you might be able to identify those elements as you hear that. This is not the record version. This is just a video I did before the recording, but it's the same composition. So this is Sonnet. So here we go.
So are we listening or are we watching? Is it a video?
We're it's video, watching and listening.
Perfect. Sounds
Yes,
good. And then just be on the lookout. I think when John might need you to let him back in when
okay,
that
no
happens,
problem.
just so you know.
No worries, no worries. So here we go. Sonnet.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I watched this. I just
Oh, you
watched
saw
it.
it?
Yeah, no, sorry.
nice.
I
All right, so here we go. All right.
Wow. No, I wish we had an audience here to, to give
Oh,
the applause. I mean, that was beautiful. My
sorry.
one comment that comes out to me personally, I did listen to this on YouTube a little bit earlier because
Mhm.
believe it or not, to the viewers, Patricia and I have never met. This is our first actual
Yeah, I
interaction.
know. We're
Um,
very comfortably talking right now.
the cool thing is that I feel like a lot of people think of the vibraphone as not a small range instrument, but it's a 3-octave range, and that piece divides it so well that it's orchestrated in such a way that it's so separate that it's very cool. It sounds like so many multiple voices. So bravo.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one of the goals of that piece, is to really expand the range, because that's actually, I always tell people, like, my pet peeve of the instrument is, like, after that low F, you can't really go lower than that. So the idea of those wider intervals, and kind of using the idea of just resonance, like a major 7th away in like one lower note and really high end, it kind of creates the illusion of fullness, even though it's just 2 notes. So kind of playing around with that concept to kind of create the illusion of depth, and range.
And then another, this might be a naive question. My cat was like face first in a slice of pizza that's next to me before. So I'm sorry sorry if I missed this, but
Yeah.
was any of that improvised? Are you reading a lead sheet? Is this like a piece are there percussion students that could play this piece? Let us know a little bit about that if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
so this is like, it's kind of like a jazz tune. So there is a lead sheet, there's a head, which is the beginning of it, like the first minute and a half of a tune, and then I do improvise on the material. So even though there is harmonic content, like, if I wish I had the chart easy to pull out right now, but there's no chord changes written. Even though I did use, like, the first chord is a B flat major 7th chord. But
Yeah.
I even voiced that in a very, like, I had made like the seconds very close on the left hand,
I did
those
notice
kind of things.
the closed voicings a lot in the left hand was really
Yeah,
cool because it creates that kind of beautiful dissonance, as it progresses.
exactly. Also, like, on a major 7th chord, when you put the 7 at the bottom and the root at the top, it kind of makes it sound minor in a way. It's like it kind of changes the color of it. So I was playing around with that. So yeah, so there's a head, and that's the sheet music that I was following. And then I improvise, and then I bring the head back in a very loose way. And then there's like a coda that actually in that video, I happen to improvise that in that moment. But I like it so much that in the record version, I kind of revisit
Oh, nice.
that, and because I really, the ending with the chorale and the little high notes. So that was kind of improvising that particular instance, but then I just kept using it. So that's not in the sheet music, even though it's an
Gotcha.
element that I use later. Now, some people have asked me for this, so I am transcribing myself
That was
to
gonna,
have
that
a
was gonna
sheet.
be my next question.
Yes. So I am working that, not necessarily in this version. I'm transcribing the record version. So, percussionists could play this as it is on the record. But yeah, so there is improvising, and the format is head solo, head out, basically. So yeah, I
Beautiful.
think we're almost out of time.
Sorry,
Yeah.
we are super tight schedule, and I think John just texted me he got knocked off again. But
Yeah.
the internet is not good in the bazaar. The prices are great in the bazaar. Internet not so good. But Patricia, amazing. Any last thoughts before we move on here?
Yeah, I mean, there's other videos I was going to share today, but if you can watch them on my YouTube channel. So definitely there's some of the videos of the singles that are out. And like I said, the platform, you can look for it on Bandcamp. If you can't spell the name, you can just look up my name, Patricia Brennan. Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple,
Sure.
all
And
those
you know
things.
what? Actually,
And
I just got a notification from the man himself. Pre-order the record. We're gonna do one as a giveaway.
yes.
So I think we will do that. So we're gonna do. I believe we're gonna pick from the end of the night tonight. So if someone was to join us tonight for the alumni hang, which is at 9 p.m. tonight, we're going to put all the email addresses on, I don't know if you've ever heard of wheelofnames.com, but we are going to spin the wheel, and we're going to give away a couple different things. We have already chosen a winner for our last giveaway with Kelly Cook, but we are going to do a record giveaway for the pre-order. So that will be exciting.
Awesome.
And, beautiful. So Patricia, thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank you.
we will catch you next time.
Awesome. Nice to see you, Matt.
Yes,
Bye.
take it easy.
Bye, you too.
So I'm going to take a moment to talk about a couple things. We're supposed to have Jesse Simpson coming on next, just waiting for him. But we do have a couple promotions coming up with the Bazaar, and I'm also going to talk about a couple of things we're going to do in the next 2 days or so. Jesse's going to be on in 1 second, so I'm going to let him get set up here. Let's see. Patricia, I'm going to boot you. Sorry.
Bye-bye.
We'll
I
see
was
you. Thanks
making you a
again.
host. Yeah. Bye.
So beautiful. So I've got Jesse Simpson coming on here. While Jesse's getting set up, we're just going to talk quickly. We do have a bunch of different clinics tomorrow. We have our kickoff clinic tomorrow with the one, the only Buck Nelson. If you've heard of him, you know. If you don't, you need to know. Hey, Jesse, how we doing?
Hey, doing all right.
And one last thing before I let Jesse take the floor here. We do have Dom Famularo tomorrow night. He's our featured clinician, which will be very cool. We also have Zach Grooves, and we have a reading with Lane Peterson, 8 p.m. tonight. But anyway, I don't want to take any of your time here, Jesse. We have Jesse Simpson here, Jesse Simpson Symbols, the man, the myth, the legend. We've gotten, I think, more questions previous to having you on for you than anyone else, particularly about how you repair cracked symbols and things like that. So
Hey, sure.
take the floor, Jesse. It's all you.
Well, guys, thanks so much for having me. I'm coming to you here from my shop, which is also a 3rd floor basement. I figured rather than demonstrating the symbols that I've made or playing any of the symbols here, a better use of the time would be to talk about what I do. As if you go on my website, which is my name, jessesimpson.com, that's going to have a bunch of YouTube clips that will be a much better demonstration of what you would find. So yeah, here in my shop in Brooklyn, I make symbols from blanks, and I repair people's damaged symbols, and I modify symbols that people bring to me that are pre-existing.
So this might be a naive question. Again, I feel like I ask naive questions, but
no problem.
How does someone get started? I mean, I remember being like in my sophomore year in high school and being like, if I want to sound like a jazz drummer, I need to take my ZBT ride and bury it in my backyard for a month, right? Like, how does someone get into like, all right, I'm going to buy blanks and I'm going to start lathing my own symbols?
Right, definitely. It was a long journey for me to get into working on symbols. And there was definitely a time of being on online forums, 15 years ago, and falling for also some of those misconceptions, bury the symbol or, this, that, or the other, and some like very rudimentary attempts at hammering. For me personally, in 2009, I visited Roberto Spizzichino, who was an Italian symbol maker who essentially started the one-man symbol factory operation that has become these days more and more common, for people doing it at a professional level and even at a hobbyist level, that you could get a few blanks or try to modify your own symbols.
So was your first attempt, was it like a massive failure or was it a success? Like, do you have your first symbol still?
No.
So I guess it was that great.
No, the first symbol that I ended up making and selling, it was a great success. I went and heard it played in different venues, which is really a cool
That's awesome.
So what was I gonna say there?
Sorry, I cut you off. I'm like fascinated by this.
No problem. Well, that just over time, it took me a few years to finally get something going, but here I am. 10 years ago, I started working on symbols and making symbols, and I'm still doing it. So
I guess my other thought would be is that, like, what's your consistency level? So if someone goes on your website, right, they go to jessesimpson.com they hear a particular symbol that they like, are you able to recreate that? Or are you able to, like, how close can you get to recreating your product?
So I'm not doing like models or anything like that.
Gotcha.
There's no, model one. In terms of recreating symbols, I've done that a lot, especially with someone's most prized, especially vintage symbol. They don't want to take it on tour anymore, and they want something that is the closest possible replica of that, or sometimes even a replica with a couple of differences that maybe they want it a little more complex than the original,
Gotcha.
or a little higher pitched. But I would say I've had a very good rate of success with making those replicas, as long as I have the symbol present in the shop.
Gotcha.
I even did a project that's still ongoing, where I was able to borrow my teacher's old ride symbol that was a symbol given to him by Art Blakey.
Oh, wow.
And a symbol that he played for over 50 years. Donald Duck Bailey was his name.
Wow.
And so I was able
Wait,
to borrow
what was his name?
Donald Duck Bailey.
I thought that's what you said.
So I was making replicas of that, and I've done a whole series of those, some of them trying to stay exactly true to the original, and I've kept one template symbol that is the closest to the original, but then also having fun with it and messing around. What if I made the bell a little larger? What if I made the pitch a little bit lower? This, that, and the other. A little heavier, a little lighter. So I do that. That's in terms of the originals. I do custom requests. I can also make something similar to a symbol that someone's heard in a recording or seen in a video, but that becomes more subjective, obviously. If I have the symbol in question here, the original, and I set it up next to the copy on the two stands in the same video, there's, great. It's a lot more objective.
I would imagine that if you're dealing with a recording, you don't hear every frequency, you can't as well, match, the sound that you're getting to replicate.
Yeah.
I'm sure things like bell size and platform and all that are all factors as well, which if you can't actually see it, but I imagine there's probably characteristics. Your ear is probably amazing at this point.
Well, yeah, I've worked on a lot of symbols now, so I think I am able to dial into that pretty well. But
now, do you have anything currently for sale? Do you have any steel deals?
So all of the symbols that are currently on my YouTube channel are all available.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I used to have a playlist that showed old sold symbols and then the available ones, and now I just unlist whatever is sold. So anything that you see on the YouTube channel is available.
Yes, beautiful. And your
also contact me requesting anything custom or a modification or a repair, and I'll give you my 2 cents, or you can send it my way and
nice.
It out.
Can you show us around your shop a little bit if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
I don't know how mobile you are.
I'm quite mobile. I'm on the iPad here.
I'm always just like, we had Bill Whitney earlier with Calderwood, and he was kind of showing off his shop, and
Sure. Well, it's a very small space here. I've got the area of all my hammers where I'm shaping the blanks or rehammering.
Do you have a blank you can show us? I know it sounds silly.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to talk about. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about how symbols are made, and how the different symbols that people own, their misconceptions about how those were created. So this is what you call a pressed bell blank, and in the factory, when the metal is hot, they're putting it into a press and popping the center bell up, right?
Yep.
This is a flat blank. So I'm getting this just completely flat. In this case, I've marked where the bell will be, but I've not yet hammered the bell in.
Okay.
Right? But the result is not necessarily so different. The difference is with a pressed bell blank. So this is a finished pressed bell symbol. There's more of a distinct line here because of the way that the bell is pressed, whereas this is a hammered bell blank, and it's a more of a smooth transition from the bell to the bridge and body of the cymbal.
Wow.
To some people, it gives more of a flat ride quality. Here, I'll turn back around here. It gives more of a flat ride type of quality, or something that is a little softer and a little more mellow and subtle, perhaps. And it's, again, it's completely subjective. I don't think there's one method of making cymbals that is superior or inferior,
Right.
but it's just a difference of what people are looking for: a more defined bell and more volume, or a more subtle bell sound. And
So start to finish, how long did it take you from blank to finished product?
it depends on the size of the cymbal, and that also depends a lot on the profile of the finished cymbal. So by profile, and that's something that I think drummers should be familiar with about cymbals, is the shape, how much of an umbrella shape the cymbal has. In the case of hand hammering a blank, to get a higher profile, you're going to have to spend more time hammering that up and more rounds of hammering. So it can be anywhere between 1 and 2 weeks to make one cymbal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like incredible to think about. I mean, I remember, not to name names as we say, but when I was in college,
Elvin Jones. Elvin Jones.
we did visit the Zildjian factory.
Let's give away a cymbal.
Do it.
I have some crap that Jesse tried to get me to sell. I'll pay you for it. But if you want some of Jesse's crap, slide in the DMs. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no problem.
I was gonna say, we visited the Zildjian factory, and to see how they have to they mass produce things.
Yeah.
So thinking about one person doing it almost just seems, from being at the factory, like it would take forever. You know?
It's a while. And of
Yeah.
course I've gotten in some ways quicker at it because I've been doing it for so long, but in other ways my eye and ear have become more discerning. So that makes me go back over things more and become more of a perfectionist. So I'm battling with those two sides. So in the case, what I wanted to discuss so what I'm doing and what's similar of many of the other solo cymbal makers and of some of the Turkish cymbal manufacturers is hammering the blank into the shape of a cymbal from scratch, as opposed to some of the major companies that are hammering the blank from being pressed already into a cymbal. So I showed you how I have a pressed bell blank,
right?
But a lot of those companies are starting with a pressed profile. Even some of the companies that are saying it's hand hammered, there's a lot less hand hammering going into it because they don't need to shape up the profile with hammering.
Which I imagine gives you a less complex cymbal.
Less complex and a lot less tension. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And just an inherently different sound. And I think there's a lot of purposeful misinformation from those companies because they can still technically tell you it's hand hammered. And there's also nothing inherently wrong if you do like the sound of that. But I think it's important for cymbal customers, when they're going out, to have some kind of an idea about the type of sound that they like and the type of process that it was made, and generally what they're looking for in terms of the weight of the cymbal, the shape of the profile, and those qualities that are going to get them closer to the sound that they're looking for.
Beautiful. So Jesse, since we are running a little short on time here, any last thoughts before we let you go? What's the best way to get in contact, and your final thoughts here?
Wow. Well, guys, it was a real pleasure to be on.
Pleasure is ours.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Easiest ways to get in touch with me. All my contact info is on my website. Again, jessesimpson.com. My phone number, you can email me, jsjazz@gmail.com. And yeah, be in touch, and you can drop me a line about any cymbal related questions.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jesse. And what we're gonna do is I think we're gonna give away one of those symbols. So around 9 o'clock when we have the alumni hang, we will be doing that with the wheel of names. So stick around if you're
I
on
want to
there.
take a second and just, I know Jesse's on his way out and everything. I just want to say what an amazing job Matt has done with this. It's basically nonstop Bazaar Expo since, when did we start this? 2014 or something. And we finally got here. And I just want to say the only thing you messed up is you didn't have the giveaway wheel ready. But other than that, everybody give it up for Matt Bronson.
Yeah.
So I can eat my pizza.
Great. Well, guys,
Jesse,
again,
And when we say giveaway, I mean like that boss, not the boss, the UFIP that sounds terrible that you have nothing to do with other than cutting.
oh,
Yeah.
perfect. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
But I'll give you like $20 for it. Don't worry.
Oh, thanks, John. You're too kind.
All right, thanks, Jesse. We'll see you, okay?
All righty, take care.
See ya. All right. We've got our feature presenter next, John.
Feature. I don't have a drum roll. I have a boo hiss. Should I play the boo
We
hiss?
don't want a boo hiss. We
What about a
want
sweep? What is this?
feature, 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 feature.
I got no sound effects. Oh, there we go.
Beautiful. Dave, are you there? Oh, wow. Look at that. Dave is prepared. I like this.
That's right.
Dave, how are you?
I'm
I'm Matt. I'm the guy that's been emailing you.
yeah, man. How's it going?
It's going really well. Welcome to Bazaar Expo.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been tuning in, so it's very cool to see everything going on.
You see this background? We are prepared just like you are prepared.
That's right.
Well, John, if you can see John's background. at least.
I keep muting myself. I mean, this is the height of every percussionist's dream is just to wallow around at the PASIC booth of Steve Weiss music, and that's like, you know, your imagination runs wild as you leaf through music and you see gongs and there's just endless boxes of who knows what. Oh,
Wow. Wow.
all right,
Done
it's
on
on.
this.
It's on.
I can't
So-
be outdone on this.
I'm just throwing this out there, Dave. So John and I, we kind of as a joke on our social media posted that Steve Weiss Music was our feature presenter. Like we have like 25 different companies that are presenting, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, who doesn't love but who doesn't love Steve Weiss Music? I feel like if there's one place to get everything other than John's Third Floor Bazaar, right, you're gonna end up on Steve Weiss Music.
Wait, hold on. Before no, John's Third Floor Bazaar spends most of its time saying, "Oh, I don't have that. Call Steve Weiss. Call Steve Weiss." We don't. We got. Yeah. Okay.
Weiss is a friend of the Bazaar, I will say. So, Dave, why don't you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us about Steve Weiss. Are there some percussion specials? Is there any bargain basement happening? If there's
Always.
anything hidden on your website that's maybe really cheap right now, you can let us know. Anyway,
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So yeah, my name's Dave. I've been with Weiss almost 10 years now. I am one of the sales guys. So if you give us a call or shoot us an email about anything, there's a good chance you're going to wind up talking to me. I'm pretty lucky. I just get paid to talk about drums all day and get people their gear, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we always have stuff going on. I think most people know who we are. Obviously we've been in the industry a long time. But we have always kind of just stuck to a really core thing of making sure we have everything at the lowest price we can and getting it to you quickly, not unlike the Third Floor Bazaar. Definitely some good deals going on right now. You can always check out our bargain basement for some cool closeout gear. But for tonight and tomorrow only, just for this very special crowd, couple nice deals going on. So about a year ago,
let's hear them. Are they steal deals, Dave? Are they steal deals?
That is safe to say, yeah. So about a year ago, we launched our Mallet King backpack. It is one of the few, I think one of the few bags that's like actually big enough for really working percussionists, and it does stand up. So that's been a huge seller for us. Normally $90. Tonight we're knocking that down to about $67 for you if you want to pick that up. If you haven't picked it up yet.
No.
That's right.
Now this is where we get into trouble. I'm gonna, you got more bags and things, but now I'm thinking you have to go get them before I go buy all of them and mark them up to $200, and that's how it works.
Yeah, they've been doing well. I think it's a pretty nice item that was kind of missing for a while. So, yeah, for today and tomorrow, and we'll kind of get into. We got a promo code for you that we'll get into here. Also, we're doing. We have a slightly smaller version of that bag because it was a little bit more than some people wanted. So we have now the Tour King bag. Similar
You didn't
thing.
go with mallet prints.
No, that didn't seem to have the same ring.
Yeah.
So that one's normally 70. We're knocking that down to about $53 for today and tomorrow for you. Also excited to talk about another cool, very new product for us, just came out this week. And that is our own version of practice cymbals. So we are doing a practice cymbal set that includes a pair of 14-inch hats, a 16-inch crash, and a 20-inch ride, and the bag. So great for, apartment playing, not taking off the neighbors, that kind of thing. Normally that set is going to retail for $180. Again, as one of these deals, we're going to knock that down to about $135 for you.
Wow.
So, I don't know that anything else is going to beat that in terms of a set of practice cymbals. So I think those are going to go pretty quick. And then I think we're going to have to just step it up to keep up with you guys. So why don't we just do free shipping on any order for today and tomorrow?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all of this, if you go to steveweissmusic.com/
John, where are the sound effects, John? They're dropping all these prices.
Hold on. No, I got you. Hold on.
Oh! How is Dave showing us up, John?
I did my research. I know what you guys are about.
I was set up. Dave just messages me as Jesse's wrapping up, going like, "I don't have much. It's fine. Let this go on."
It's fine.
That's like, I feel like I'm in Washington Square Park playing poker with somebody.
Dave, can I, if I could bring up a topic, if you don't mind?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Can we talk Liberty One really quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I was just recently browsing the Liberty One product list for no apparent reason whatsoever, other than that I'm a percussionist, so I spend too much time on steveweissmusic.com. And I did notice that you guys have a hydraulic throne that is made with the Liberty One hydraulic throne, and the price is pretty out of this world. I'm just throwing this out there. But can you talk about some of maybe the Liberty One products that people don't necessarily know about? Like that for me is definitely on my list of, I have a teaching space. I need another throne that's height adjustable. What are some of the other great products that Liberty One makes?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. We're really excited about that line, and we try to keep expanding it as we can. So we're introducing some hardware right now. We've got a great snare drum stand on there that retails for $50. And it is adjustable height so that you can use it at a concert height or a drum set height. It's 3-tiered. A lot of snare stands out there are 2-tiered. So you kind of pick your poison. You have a stand for playing drum set. You got to lug your other stand for concert playing. This one is plenty sturdy, but it's 3-tiered. So you can use it for both. It's a great option for like students or people that just want a good medium, it's not heavy duty, but good medium gear. And again, like for $50 for a snare stand that does both. Absolutely killer. I'm always pushing our new 1-rack system. I don't know if you've gotten to check that out yet.
I remember when you guys actually came out with it at PASIC, which I think was like 3 years ago now, which makes me feel old. But yeah, that's pretty killer.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know this, our 1-rack system is basically a system of rack tubes with all sorts of accessories and clamps that you can make just about any kind of a configuration under the sun. It's awesome for holding gongs, for multiple percussion setups. You can mount extra stands to stuff. I've seen them used in like front ensembles for marching stuff. Just incredibly versatile, and we have those. So we're still building out that set. Just on our search bar, you can always type in Liberty One, and we just have a ton of stuff. We're always looking for those kind of gaps, where it's like, as a percussionist or a drummer, you're like, I really need something that does this. Why does no one make this? That's the stuff we're hoping that Liberty One is, and it just kind of fills that spot for people. So yeah, definitely check it out on our website. And all of this, I got to plug it, is if you use our website, steveweissmusic.com/expo2020, that'll get you those prices we talked about.
Wow.
So yeah, steveweissmusic.com,
I
Expo
can't believe that
2020.
you made a subsection of your website just for Bazaar Expo.
That's right. I mean, you guys get the
Wow.
VIP treatment. You know this.
Wow.
This is actually something I'll talk about with my parents because when I was between maybe 12 and for a while, from age 12 on, I had the Steve Weiss catalog and a pencil, and he circled everything and the pieces of music and the mallets. And then I was afraid of Steve, so I had my mom call, and she was a little bit like, I don't know. And so I knew if I wanted the Becker Blue, I had Becker Blue. Yes, please. And for this to come full circle and say we got slash Steve Weiss Music / Expo 2020, I feel like I've really made it.
Wow.
There
You
you
know
go.
what? Can we note that at 7:41 p.m., Friday, November 13th, 2020, John Singer made it.
I think we have to, right? I mean,
I hope this comes up as a Facebook memory next year so that we can all laugh about it.
it's gonna be on your time hop.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, that's awesome. So now I will say, in all seriousness, John and I are in reality both proponents of PAS. We're both involved with our local chapters. I think you guys are also involved with PASIC today and tomorrow. What do you have going on with PAS today and tomorrow?
Yeah, so we are a vendor. We're, of course, like everybody, we're super bummed that we can't be there in person with everything going on. But we do have a virtual booth set up with some good deals going on there. I don't know that they're quite as good as the deals we're doing tonight, but we're trying. We're participating in the online. I was checking out some of the sessions earlier today, and everything they've done to kind of get people access to these great master classes and great content. So yeah, we've always been partnered with PAS, a big proponent of the organization. So I think everybody's got their fingers crossed and hoping next year that we're back to normal. But for this year, we are definitely still involved and just trying to do our best to be a part of the process.
Yeah, like we like I said, big proponents of PAS, and it's nice to see that Steve Weiss is still being represented, because I still remember my first PASIC, and clinics are great, all that stuff. But honestly, one of the coolest things is the first time that somebody like hip checks you at the Weiss booth, and you're trying to find your Gene Kaczynski solo and the swerve stick, but you get hip checked, and then it's like, oh, hey, I didn't realize that I was going to be checking out these Ginter mallets that are on the side now. So anyway, it's like it's really one of the best parts about PASIC. But with 1 minute left here, what's the last thing you think you want to let our viewers know? I guess it would be that link maybe one more time. But anything else from you, Dave?
Yeah, I always just like to remind people that, we're more than just the website. We really are a resource. We have a ton of knowledge on our staff. So if you ever have questions about something, you can't find a product, you just need to know why something's out of stock, whatever it is, just get in touch with us. That's what we do. This is our, this is like, why we're in the industry, is just to help people out and get what they need. So you can always email us, info@steveweissmusic.com. You can call us, obviously the number's on the website. I never want people to feel like they can't reach out. I think the days of John Singer having to be scared to call us are hopefully over. Unless we catch you on a caller ID, we might, it might be a different story. But yeah, I always tell people, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. We are a resource, and we want to get you the gear you need. So never be afraid to give us a call or an email. We got you, whatever you need.
Awesome. My last shout out, Dave, you're great, but I got to give a shout out to my girl, Emily, also a alumnus of University of Minnesota Duluth, which brings me to my next thought. Make sure you join us at 9 p.m. tonight for the alumni hang. Emily is alumnus. Dave will be an alumnus. We'll all be there. I don't know if Dave will be there actually, but 9 p.m. tonight with Lee Karen and R. David R. But Dave, thanks so much for being with us. And thank you to Steve Weiss for everything you do for the percussion community.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. Have a great
Thank
night.
you, easy, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Wow, great. Yeah.
So Kale is on here, but it's Kyle is on, and that Kale's at 8:30.
Let's bring
Bring them both on?
Yeah, because
Oh, lost John there. So I'm gonna let Kyle in. Hey.
Hello.
You can see me, you can hear me, I can see and hear you. Kyle, nice to put a face.
I was going to say, it's about time.
It's about time. Are you sick of hearing from me yet? Or is this, I guess after today, it'll all be over.
No. Communication has been streamlined. It's all good.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So Kyle, it is your time to shine, my friend. Tell us about a little bit about your company. Tell us what you do. And I might have some questions for you in the meantime, but why don't you get us started and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, chime in, interrupt as often as you'd like, man.
Awesome. Where are you actually calling from, by the way?
So I'm calling from Durham, North Carolina at the moment. This is where I call home. I used to be a New York City dweller, much like Dr. Singer, but now
He just got kicked off the phone call. Coincidence, or do you think?
I mean, he knows me well enough. He just doesn't need to be here. You know, like he's fine. He's fine.
Perfect.
No, yeah. So I'm in Durham, North Carolina. Elision Publications, the company I'm here to talk about tonight, is, well, it doesn't really have a place. It's entirely an online music publishing company. So there's 3 of us in the company: myself, Scott Shinbara in Omaha, Nebraska, and Alex Weir in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the 3 of us went to school together and were colleagues and buddies. And we were on a gig long time ago and thought, hey, we should try to get into the publishing business. Why not? You know, let's see what else we can do with this. And we really wanted to highlight younger and perhaps underrepresented, or unknown composer performers. So we have a growing list of artists, and we're publishing their stuff. And unfortunately, we launched just in January, so I'm not surprised most people don't know about us, because then COVID hit, and
I was going to say there was like big shutdown times, which
yeah, you know, luckily for us, we're all distant, so we're able to hold our meetings and do all that, and that's great. But you know, not necessarily a great time for the publishing business, unfortunately, because students aren't at school and yada 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 yada. But
they should be practicing,
and they should be buying their music and not stealing it.
And they should be purchasing their music. So in a way, it's a great time.
Totally. And, you know, our whole model was kind of the antithesis of the big publishing business. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We love all the publishers that we've played forever, but we wanted to do a little different, and everything is digital. All communication is digital. We don't have advertisements in magazines. It's all social media. And for us, it really helps us cut down on waste and overhead as a business. And as such, we provide a much higher rate of return and compensation for the composers, but also pass on savings to the consumer. So our pieces might look like they're quote unquote cheaper, but actually we have a savings because we don't have the overhead of a traditional big business. There he is. So, you know, so we pass the savings on to both ends of the spectrum. And, you know, we would love to even publish some of Dr. Singer's works, but, you know, he's got his own act going on. So
yeah, he's got a lot going on, and
he's changing scenery all the time here.
Yeah, I know.
But you can't see it if I don't talk, because it's the tricky thing. A lot is happening behind the scenes.
Ooh, magic. Don't give it away.
There you go. So are you in a studio right now? Where are you at?
Yeah, so
I'm
in my
by the marimba situation, the microphones. Do you guys record your pieces for your site? I see a lot of microphones. I have a lot of questions. Let me know what's going on.
So yeah, so this is my home studio here in Durham. When I lived in New York, I had a very small space like most people. And when my wife and I moved down, I can hold this up a little bit. So I got a little marimba here. I got look at that, a little glockenspiel that John Singer sold me.
Wow.
And somewhere over there's a maybe even a vibraphone. Oh yeah, there's a vibraphone behind me that John Singer sold me.
I see so many payment plans, past, present, and future.
You know, and this beautiful marimba, former Bazaar guest Dave Stockton helped me buy. So really,
I was going to say I had nothing to do with that.
So it's one big happy family down here. No, so we do record a lot of our own stuff. you know, MIDI is only so good, of course, and it gets you close, but it doesn't get you across the finish line. So I record a lot of my own pieces, and we encourage our composers to provide recordings of their own stuff as well. But I do all my own recording here in the home studio. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Now, do you have any composers featured right now, or anyone notable that you think has come out with something cool recently that you want to share with us?
Yeah, so I'd like to highlight three different composers. Our youngest composer is a guy by the name of Patrick Duvall. He's a student of Terry Longshore out in Southern Oregon. He wrote a really great piece called The Reef God, and it's a really unique piece where you have timpani, kalimba, and crotales, and you play the kalimba on the timpani, and you're moving it around, and it's a really unique piece, and that's really fun. And, you know, fun fact, he's a triplet. I mean, how many triplets do you know?
That would really, you know, I suppose that in the process of buying sheet music, you know, I want to know if the composer is a triplet or not.
I mean, that's crucial information.
Crucial information, and honestly, I think I have to go buy this piece now. Or maybe we should give it away, John. What do you think?
Give it away. Give it away. Give it away.
Give it away. We're gonna add this to our list for the 9 p.m. alumni hang giveaway session.
Beautiful.
Wait a
We're
second. How
giving
much
it
is
all
this
away.
music? You charge like $79.99 or something?
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's exclusive online, so prices are through the roof. Exactly.
Gotta make sure to charge it up. For John, why don't you just add 10%? You know,
That's a good idea. Instead of this like dealer pricing stuff, we should go the other way.
You
Say,
know,
yeah.
absolutely. Why not? So that's Patrick. He wrote a great piece. We also have another young performer, percussionist, composer by the name of Lucas Sem. He's currently studying with the one and only Bill Mersch out in Illinois, and he wrote a great percussion ensemble piece called Plasma. You know, it's one of these big pieces, 10 players. Everyone has 3 to 8 instruments, so it looks great on stage. It sounds great. It's energetic. It's exciting. So, you know, pieces like that, a lot of student composers who have really written some innovative works.
I guess, so Kyle, I'm a composer percussionist. I wrote what I think is an excellent piece. What is the vetting process to get published by you? What steps can I take? How can I get in touch with you? Give me the lowdown, because I have a Sibelius folder full of stuff that I'm ready to sell you. I mean, that you're, and tell me, what do we have?
So yeah, being that we're an entirely digital company, everything is online. You go to our website, www.elysianpublications.com.
I like the name a lot, by the way.
Thank you very much. You know, well, for us, it's, you know, we're doing things a little differently, so that definition kind of works for us, bringing people together and cutting out the middle person, as it were. So you go to our website and you go to the submissions portal, and boom, it takes you to our submissions page. You fill out all your information. If you're a triplet, if you're a quadruplet, it's all there. And then it goes behind, as John would say, behind the scenes where the magic happens. And the team vets the piece, and then we get back to you as soon as we can. You know, some big publishers, again, we've all played them. We love them. We need them. Take quite a long time to get back to you. We typically get back to our composers in about a week and a half.
Nice.
And so we try to be upfront. If they want feedback, we're happy to provide it. But, you know, usually it's a pretty safe environment to submit your piece. And all we ask is that we can listen to it in a recording and a PDF of the sheet music. And there you go.
Wow. That's a process that I think even John Singer can get behind.
I mean, you know.
So how often do you release new music?
So up front, we opened the company with about, I want to say about 10 pieces. And steadily since then, we're at about maybe a piece or two a month. It all depends on submissions. You know, some months we have 5 to 6, 7 submissions, and others not. So it all depends.
So I guess my thought is here. Now, where do you see like the future of publication going? You send physical copies, I imagine, of your pieces, right? So do you think that we're going to end up digital at some point? What do you think, you know, the future of your market is going to be? I know that's a big question, but
Matt, stop wasting time. It's obviously the chip. We're all gonna have the chip, and this is, you know.
Chip,
But you
they're
can
gonna know exactly where I am.
I'm back.
But I lost you a little. We gotta drop a price now because we had a technical difficulty. John, drop a price.
I think that 16 by 16 mahogany, or the woods of the Pearl Philharmonic is a African mahogany excitement, 16 by 16. I'm inspired by the Steve Weiss deal.
I know.
That's
So I think that it's on the site for 800 right now.
I dropped it to 750 today. I think we should do 650 shipped.
What?
Somebody should buy it now. Yeah, have a
I'm
good
pretty
time.
sure. What was the lowball Lee Karen offer at first? 500?
It's probably 650 shipped, but
Something like that.
that's where we're at. Oh,
So let's see. So the thing too is, this is off topic. Sorry, Kyle here. I think we're going to push Lane Peterson to 8:30 because Kale is in the waiting room for 8 o'clock too. And I think Lane is gracious enough to let Kale go because I'm not sure if he calculated the time change correctly.
that may have been on me.
Might have been on you. Okay. Beautiful.
Kyle, give it to us. So we got the website is the best way to find your things.
Oh, is he frozen?
I was having the John Singer internet experience. We need a router sponsor for next year.
Brought to you by Kyocera. I don't know who makes routers. Mine's Eero.
Netgear.
All right, so why don't we do this then? So since it sounds like we've lost Kyle a little bit, do we let Kale in?
It's like, ooh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. If
I'm really hungry. Oh, there's Kyle.
Wait, Kyle, can you hear us?
Am I here?
Yes.
Jace, craziness.
All right. So Kyle, any last minute thoughts before we let you go?
Well, I just wanted to apologize for the technical difficulties. Durham, North
All
Carolina,
good.
it's not like the big city, but I really appreciate you guys doing this and giving a lot of people a voice and a little bit of time. And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to hype a little newcomer company like us.
What we'll do too for you, Kyle, is we'll take a bunch of stuff since we did lose a little time because of the technical difficulties. We'll take your stuff, we'll post it in the Bazaar group page for you. People can get in touch that way as well. We're happy.
That's great. And we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places, all the things.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to put you off here. And I don't know if the people had heard, but we are going to do is what they call in public school right now is a pivot. We are going to pivot to Kale. Kale is going to do his performance. Now let's let Kale in here. And Lane Peterson, has graciously agreed to wait another half hour for his read aloud of the Nihilist Drummer. So here we are. We're connecting. Oh, I got to change my background too.
I don't know. What are we going for here? We got options. I'm just going to do black and white CD.
I know. So, John, you had the pleasure of talking to Kale earlier.
That's the best word. That's the best word. So Kale is coming to us from Denmark, and I have a cellular phone here, and I don't use it to call internationally that much. So Kale said, give me a call. And I couldn't. And then he reached out and called me, which was just fantastic. And we spoke, and he was driving for many hours. And Kale is actually somebody who I'm I'm thinking could have benefited from a sound check and a tech check at 3:30, but he's an amazing entity. I think when you're thinking about the Kale World Tour, you're not talking about a person or even an idea. It's really
it's more of a lifestyle, I think, honestly.
It's a this.
Yes. I'm really hoping. I'm going to be very sad if we have some technical.
Oh, there he is. That's him right there.
No, I know, but it says he's connecting. Oh, yes, yes.
Hey, hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wow. Amazing.
The floor is yours. I don't want to say anything. I just want you to go for it.
Oh, now?
Yes.
Oh,
Was
I
it-
was a bit early.
oh, wait, we got to fill you in. I think what just happened.
Okay.
What happened? So this is our event. Welcome to our event.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I think because the event was happening, we had a what do we call them? He's a writer, an author, somebody. Lane.
Oh, he's a publisher.
He's a publisher. Who
Talking
was?
about Kyle?
We're doing great. And so you came on for your sound check, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. But instead, we made your sound check the gig. How about that? We there was a guy on the stage, and he got a body slam, and he went like he's like this right now. He's on his way to Denmark, so I'd be careful how you sleep.
Yep.
Woo. And now, if you're ready, now if you're not ready, then I'm just gonna order pizza.
No, I'm ready. I'm sorry if somebody.
We're just happy you're here.
Oh, great! Thanks, man. It's a bit late here, so everything is a bit crazy. Okay, but then I'll just play a short show for you, maybe actually.
Yeah.
This is called Kalle's World Tour. This setup. I hope you can hear everything. It's a lot of drums and a lot of bass, and I have like a
Quick question. Are you wearing pants?
Yes, I actually am.
Okay, just checking.
Can be. I can show you.
I'm loving this. So is there oh, nice, beautiful. Love it.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of things here. So and then I have some electronics over here. So I'll just start off with playing something. Check this out.
Before it all goes to hell, can you tap a few things to make sure that so what they can do, and now we're gonna have to do this thing called original sound, I think. Because we don't hear anything.
Oh, you don't hear anything?
No, we hear your vocal mic, but I think it's because you're on Zoom. And if you go into preferences, do you see, is that a thing that you can do?
But I did do the, if you click want to switch.
Does it say turn on original sound?
No, it actually did. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted, right? No.
Nope.
But it should be using the, you're not getting this, right? Or what?
It cuts out. So if you go, can you go to audio in preferences?
Yeah.
And then in the lower right, there'll be something advanced.
Lower right.
Yeah,
advanced. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Click that one, and then check the show in meeting option to enable original sound.
Enable.
The first thing that says show in meeting option to enable original.
Yeah, I've hit that.
So you hit that, and then when you see now on your screen, does it say turn on original sound, turn off original sound?
In the top left.
I just hit the button called show in meeting option to enable original sound from microphone. And then I have three categories: disable echo cancellation.
Forget that. But the first one, you hit that button. So
yeah,
when
I hit that button.
Now, when you're looking at your screen, do you see, if you move your mouse or something, do you see it? There's a little thing now that says turn on original sound.
No, actually not. Turn on
the regular screen.
On the regular.
Yeah, turn on. Yeah, should I press that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So turn off original sound.
No.
Turn it off.
No. So it's on. If it says turn off, it's on.
Yes.
And you're good to go.
You're good.
So you can hear this now, what?
Yes.
Oh man.
Go for it.
Oh man.
This is like the most exciting day of my year.
This is amazing. Okay, let's go.
I'm loving the shirt.
The swirl is the that you know you. The swirl is the that you know you. The swirl is the that you know you. Catch the music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to do. Catch the music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to do. Catch the music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to do. Catch the music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to do. Catch the music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to do. Catch the music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to catch. The music that you didn't know you want to do. Do you feel awkward and no one wants to talk to you? Then tell us what's doing something for you. You're trying to solve all your problems with calm. Then tell us what's doing totally overdue. And you ask yourself, what is Kelly's World Tour? It's the ultimate cure. And I'm all to is if you can't feel anything, just love something or somebody. If you can't feel anything, just love something or somebody. When is what you get in a heart when you start to get more love. When it's what you get. When you start to get more love. America, faster! If you can't feel anything, clap, clap. Make my love hallelujah. Come on, can you feel it, motherfuckers? Faster!
Wow. Wow. I don't like.
Holy shit.
Can you hear everything? And is everything?
Yes, this is wow.
Yeah, this is like wow. Hold the gift. That was a hard beginning. Oh,
Wow.
So to everybody who's watching, this is actually a new art form. It's called It's called dramedy. It's a lot of drums and comedy combined, dramedy. And now you're of course all thinking, are drums funny? I actually think that drums are the sound of funniness. Actually, I can show you what I mean. What do all hip hop artists eat when they want a sandwich? They eat a wrap. So then the drums, if you thought that was funny, then the drums will show you where to laugh if you thought that was funny. It's the ultimate sound of funniness. That is so the drums are very funny, but now you're looking at me and thinking, hey, Kalle, you have a bass also. Is the bass funny? No, the bass is very, very sad actually, because we are trying, actually right now we are trying to kill the bass as an instrument in music. In the 1600, a bass line could sound like this. But nowadays, in the modern age, a bass line sounds like this. One note, and I can play with one arm actually. In the 70s, a bass line could sound like this. Nowadays, a bass line sounds like this. One arm! I can do it with one arm. We are trying to kill the bass as instrument. And that's very sad, because I really do believe that God is in the bass. Now I'm going to try to find God. If you want to find God in the bass, you actually have to play in C major. So let me see if I can do it. And size matters. Dear people all around the world, do you believe we have free will? Have you decided yourself to watch this crazy video, or did someone else decide it for you? Do we have free will? It's a good question. There was an atheist journalist many years ago called Christopher Hitchens, and he was asked, Christopher, do you believe we have free will? And he answered, of course we do. We don't have a choice. The only true freedom is leaving. The only true love is staying. The only true life is grieving. The only true meaning is not playing. Everything is wrong, but we need to go through. I can only do it if I'm with you. Everything is round. Everything is round.
Hey, audience. This is the song talking directly to you. Do you understand what me and Kel are doing on stage? It's funky philosophy. Everything starts and ends at the same place. Everything is round, round like this balloon.
This is amazing. I have never been more inspired.
Oh my God.
Can you hear what I'm doing still?
Yes.
Because this symbol just fell off the stand and actually cut a power cord.
It cut it like in half? Oh, wow. Wait, does this count as technical difficulties?
We have to give something away.
How is the time? It's 20 past.
Oh man, we could do this.
10 more minutes.
The mic doesn't work, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, the mic. The actual talking mic is. Yeah. You should still hold it for effect.
Of course I should. Jesus, this is pretty.
Wow.
Lane there too.
I know, I love that. Lane.
The home viewer is not having this experience.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. We have sound.
Hey.
Oh!
Come
All
on.
This is keep going, baby. Keep going.
Is there anything you want to hear? Anything music? Any kind of music you want to hear? I can play.
Can you maybe do some of the dance music? Maybe some the pork. I think I requested it. It was the pork ice cream drummer.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, you requested that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I've done a lot of videos about like being a party musician. So yeah. I could do some party music, because when you're doing parties, it's very important that you actually play what the audience want to hear. And all the music I've played until now, nobody wants to hear that, actually, because I wrote it. So we need music that I haven't written. And I've always thought about the band Queen from England. What would have happened if Spice Girls and ABBA was a part of Queen's the band Queen? Well, then Queen would have sounded like this. And this is one of the songs that everybody want to hear when you're doing party music. If you are a party drummer out there, play music like Queen combined with Spice Girls and ABBA, because everybody loves it. Check it out. Mama, so tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Yeah, tell me what you want. What, mama, you wanna make love to me? But mama, my life has just begun, and now you wanna throw it all away. So if you wanna be my lover, you have got to move to another part of the country where breathing still is cool. I don't know if that is what you want, but that was what I wanted.
That was everything I could have asked for and more, and there wasn't even a single note played on drums.
Exactly. That's and then again, if you really want to earn money out there, then don't play the drums. Nobody likes the drums anyway. So start to sing, play the bass, maybe play on a grinder if you have one. This is a grinder, and it can actually cut in metal. Buy one of those and play on those.
I just got a request in from I just got a message here that says, would you please play some Beatles in German over Buddy Rich grooves, please? And then there was another please.
Yeah, I can do that. This is so funny. I just have to because I heard an interview with and I saw an interview on YouTube with John Lennon, where he was talking about when Beatles were playing in Hamburg. They played a lot in Hamburg, a German city, and at that point he was actually contemplating. John Lennon was to stay in Germany, never to go back to England, and actually he was also contemplating to fire Pete Best, who was the drummer at that point, and they get a swing jazz drummer into the band instead of Pete Best. But of course, that never happened, and the rest is history. But what would have happened if John Lennon at that point would have fired Pete Best, the drummer, and got, let's say, Buddy Rich on the drums? Then something else would have happened with and if they had stayed in Germany, something else would have happened altogether. And I just need to find a backing track. Take yeah.
Ladies.
Yeah. I have to like change it a bit. Yeah. Let's say that instead of Beatles, let's say if Buddy Rich was the drummer in Rage Against the Machine, ladies and gentlemen, what would have happened if Buddy Rich was the drummer in Rage Against the Machine? Then this would have happened.
He's got to fix his audio again since his thing got unplugged.
But no, it's almost better like this. Just let it go.
Should I go like this? Should I try to flag him down?
I don't know. I think we got the. Oh,
Ooh. It's still amazing.
On the drop set, some of those that play jazz are the same that's gonna kick your ass. Some of those that play jazz are the same that's gonna kick your ass. Some of those that play jazz are the same that's gonna kick your ass. Some of those that play jazz are the same that's gonna kick your ass. Now you do what Buddy told you. 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 Those who say that computers can swing are those who use all the true to sing. Those who say that computers can swing are those who use all the true to sing. Those who say that computers can swing are those who use all the true to sing. Those who say that computers can swing are those who use all the true to sing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man. Amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I couldn't find the backing track for the Beatles thing.
It's all good. You know,
just can't. Matt, come on. Come on.
Sorry.
We gotta. You can't stick to the schedule. We need some encores. We need some.
Can we have one encore?
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Matt, what is standing behind you? There's something. What is written behind you? Can I get this?
It says, "Add this to my pile." That's what people ask us at the bazaar. So we are a shop, right? People buy things and they ask John to add them to their pile. There are no piles.
Oh, nice. So you are a shop, actually. I didn't know that. Wow,
Yes.
Nice.
I know you know nothing about us. Technically, we know nothing about you.
Exactly. But that is going to change right now. We are going to do actually a YouTube tutorial to who we are. And then we're going to, in the same video maybe. And I can tell who I am, and I will go back to when it all started, my birth, my Big Bang, and you can go back to when it started for you. And then we can like commit to a relationship on YouTube. Have you ever had a YouTube relationship?
Only a few.
I hear you. But maybe maybe we should do, because there's somebody who said please twice.
Yeah.
So let's get some more Buddy Rich then, because it was what I was talking about earlier. This is the Beatles as they would have sounded with Buddy Rich on the drums and in German. Come on, everybody. Whoa. Schüttel alles Kindchen. Schüttel alles Kind. Twist und schrie. Komm schon, komm schon, komm schon. Komm schon, Kind. Komm schon, Kind. Wir können es schaffen. Können es schaffen. Können es schaffen, Honig. Können es schaffen. Du bist so hübsch. Du bist so hübsch. Du hast mich zum Laufen gebracht. Zum Laufen gebracht. Ich wusste, dass du es tun würdest. Ich wolle dich nicht verletzen. Ich wolle dich nicht verletzen. Ich bin nur ein eifersüchtiger Kerl. Ich bin nur ein eifersüchtiger Kerl. Ich bin nur... Ist er wie ich bin, er und ihr sind euch und wir sind alle zusammen. Seht, wie sie von Schweine laufen, seht, wie sie fliegen. Ich weine. Sind auf ein Konflikt. Wartet auf das Auto kommt. Unternehmen Dienstag, Mann, du bist ein böser Junge, du hast dein Gesicht lang gewachsen. Lass es. Ich bin das Heimat! Die sind die Einmänner. Ich bin das Walross. Kuckuck-kutschu, de Kuckuck-kutschu. Yeah!
Wow.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know what else thank you.
Thank you.
We are going to be in touch because we need to talk more about what just happened. But
I also have to talk about it actually to someone. So maybe we should do some therapy together.
yes,
Yeah.
you know, they say that do your therapy with people that are thousands of miles away from you that you've just met.
Our please says please a lot of solid caps. OMG, I'm so happy. Thank him for me. Thank you.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much, man. Take
So-
care. Do I sign out? I
will sign you out. But again, seriously, thank you so much. We know
Thanks,
it's
man.
like, what time is it? Like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
out there, you know, so
3:30, 2:30.
well, thank you again. And we will have you again soon. Okay.
Yeah, it was so nice. Take care, bye, boys. Take care.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
thank you. All right. We now have to bring us back down, right? So we just got brought way up, right? And we're about to enter the alumni hang around 9 o'clock, but we have something a little intellectual, a little bit introspective, a little bit educational, but we have Dr. Lane Peterson on the line. He's muted right now, so I'm going to ask him to unmute himself. Let's see, I'm going to even press this ask to unmute button. Let's see if, and to talk a little bit about Lane, let's see, get him set up here. Lane he's the other half of our friend Kelly Cook with the Twin Cities Drum Collective, and he has a new book. Oh, you're muted, John. You are muted. Okay, and Lane is the author of the feel-good novel of the year, which is The Nihilist Drummer. And I remember when I was a child, at the time, the Lieutenant Governor, Jody Rell, used to come to my 6th grade classroom when I was a student. When we were young kids, we would sit and they would read to us. And I thought to myself, what is the best way to promote Lane's book, Dr. Lane Peterson? And I thought that maybe he could pour himself a glass of Chardonnay. He could throw his Friday turtleneck on, and he could potentially read aloud that book. Now, before this happens, I do want to plug what we have going on at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we have more fun coming. We have R. David R., the YouTube great. We also have Lee Karen, Connecticut legend, for the first ever Third Floor Bazaar alumni hang. Are you an alumnus? John, what makes someone an alumnus?
You went there. Did you go there? I went there.
I went there.
So we've been there, and we are alumni. I think that's open to the. We could stay on the line for 10 minutes or so, but then I think our hang is open to the alumni.
So if you're planning on joining the alumni hang, it will be an open Zoom call to those that are interested in joining. It is on thirdfloorbazaar.com/expo. There's a button that says join the alumni hang, I believe, or something of that iteration. But 9 o'clock, it's going to be a lot of fun. Pour yourself a drink like John has here.
I got my Steve Weiss beer glass.
If you want to throw your Friday turtleneck on, you can. If you want to wear your Thursday turtleneck, that's okay too. If you don't feel like wearing a turtleneck, you can wear perhaps a tank top. Do we want to talk about this special giveaway, John?
You want to model that? I also appreciate that we are what they would say in Portuguese is we are filling the sausage.
Yes.
And that Lane just had to sit through like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Lane just sat through 20 minutes. Oh, and here he is. Let's see if we can get him connected here. He's connected. Can you hear us, Lane?
I'm here, Matt.
Beautiful. Lane, my
Beautiful
friend,
indeed.
Tell us a little bit about the Nihilist Drummer. You are the author of the Feel Good Novel of the Year. Tell us a little bit about it. And I've promised the people a live reading. And I believe at the end of the reading, we are going to give away the signed, game-used copy of the Nihilist Drummer, which you are going to read today.
Well, you know, Matt, that depends on if it's coming out of your pocket or mine.
It's coming out of neither. It's coming out of John. So with that in mind.
Well, I'd first like to say I'm very delighted to be here with everybody. And secondly, I'd like to say that my name is Dr. Lane Peterson, and I am a real doctor, not one of those fake doctors like Dr. Phil or Dr.
Or perhaps
John,
Dr. Jonathan Singer.
Dr. Bonnie Smith, or these people who just put doctor by their name, which is why when people come into TCDC, I insist that they call me Dr. Peterson until they've been there 2 or 3 times, and I can tell based on our customer history, and then they can simply call me Doc, and I'll answer to that.
You know, you just shorten it up for the ease for the customer.
Just shorten it up. Try to make it a little more personable, you know, what I'm saying there. So, you know, here's the thing. I wrote the Nihilist Drummer for a lot of reasons.
He showed up close a little bit more. Just give us a little.
Let me get it right up there. Into the Nihilist Drummer, like all matte black, none more black, you might say. Beautiful shade of black on the cover. And I have to mention the foreword there is by Dave King.
For the record, by the way, Dave King did turn us down for Bazaar Expo.
That was a hard no. That was a
hard no.
It was a hard no. Well, a couple things about Mr. King, not Dr. King. Dr. King, great hero of mine. Mr. King wrote the foreword to my book. But here's the thing. When I thought about writing this book, this is a true story. I was talking to Kelly, my partner at TCDC, and I said, you know what? I will write this book if I can write and compose the entire book in less time than it takes for Dave to return an email to me.
Ooh.
So I wrote the email. I said, Dave, I've got this great concept for a book. I think you'd be way into it, you know? And I'm composing this email, sent it.
Oh. Did we lose Lane?
It's going too well.
If we lost Lane, then that means that we have to introduce our co-host. Oh no.
Mika, you hear it?
I'm here. What up?
Mika, welcome.
We have Dr. Mika Gadbole. Are you a real doctor?
No, not even remotely. Can't save a life, can't start up a heart, can't deliver a baby.
Does anyone call you
None of
Doc?
the above. They call me Dr. God. If they want to. Where did he go? I really want to check out this book.
I know. I'm actually very upset because the book is very hilarious. But I feel it at the same time.
I came on here because
we're coming down from the college.
I want that cat shirt. That college performance was incredible. Are you sure he was wearing pants? It did not look like.
I definitely thought
underwear, boxers, maybe.
There was no pants happening in my mind, and I was afraid to ask. But I went out on a limb, and I asked. I did ask.
I know. I was curious, but I don't know. Those flesh colored. I don't know what that was. Where'd he go? Dr. Peterson, come back.
He's coming back. He's texting me right now. So Mika, tell us a little bit about your history of the Bazaar.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow.
This is my history right here.
Wow, the alumni hang is starting early, it seems.
It is starting early. I already have my like, haven't had alcohol in a while glow.
I'm like, my
Matt,
face.
how are you?
I'm good. My face literally hurts from the Kale performance.
It's amazing.
It's like
I
like
don't
my,
think
my
Facebook
face
will
is in
ever have
pink,
anything like that.
like the
was
cheekbones
amazing.
right here. But
I
so
love it.
Nico was supposed to co-host the whole night. It's about time you showed up, honestly.
No, I was not. I don't know. I didn't know about this. I was told to show
What
up
do
at
you mean you
9
didn't
o'clock
know
for
about this?
drinks and
John,
fun.
John, can you bring some order to the court right now?
I'm not a law and order kind of guy.
Not a lot. This, it's just, Mika, I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed, but I'm a little disappointed.
I'm sorry.
I just
Look what I have for you. I have did you know that there are video filters now in Zoom?
yes.
Oh, you did know that. This is news to me. Where's my favorite one? I can't find it. This one. Yeah!
Wow.
I love this one.
That is a good one. I love that your connection's a little poor too, so it just sped you up too. So you were like,
I will fix my connection. I will fix my. Hey, but does that mean it's a giveaway? If there's a
All right.
oh. So we're giving away the tank top. What else do we got? Oh, should we might as well just go with the t-shirts, right, John?
You were, yeah.
This is a special piece.
My God.
This is a very special piece. I know for a fact that a bunch of my students like want dibs on this, but I got to keep it fair. You
have a lot of people wanting that one.
How about
a lot of people?
Do you love the marimba, Mika?
No.
No, lie.
No, I really don't. I really don't like the instrument at all.
I need you to lie. How much do you love the marimba?
Love it, the marimba. I think it's the best thing ever. Marimba solos are amazing. I just want to play marimba solos. Ooh. That's my marimba play.
This is a shirt that's gonna live infamously. Let's see. Whoops. I think Lane. Oh, Lane's back. We've got Lane back again. There he is. Mika, you're gonna be so disguised when he gets on.
No, I'm gonna put my face on.
Mika.
I'm back here.
Yes, Lane! I'm gonna go get more booze. I'll be right back.
I'm here. I gotta say, Matt, as a doctor, I'm used to sending other people back to the waiting room and being sent back to the waiting room by you guys.
It probably makes you feel very poorly about yourself. So let's cut to the book, Lane. We want to hear some portions of the book because I think it's only a matter of time before you just get completely sauced off that Merlot or whatever it is that you're drinking. So let's get some action.
First is I would like to talk about that I much prefer a Shiraz or a Pinotage to a Merlot, but let's not get bogged down in the types of wines that Dr. Peterson drinks. I want to begin by talking about a few of the.
Oh no! I'm gonna be so sad. We're gonna have to record Lane and post it.
No.
The first one here is Pascal Haar's book here. Many of you have worked out of this book, and you can see the extent of work I did in it. I drew these pictures, and you'll notice that one of the things I did was I made one of the drummers in Pascal Haar's book look like Elwood Blues. So
amazing.
A very fancy mustache, which I can't grow a mustache like that. But anyway, total discouragement. Then, like many other drummers, I've been discouraged by this book. It's called Stick Control. I opened this book up to the first page so many times that I had to put masking tape on it to just keep this book together. By the way, I bought this for $6 back in the day. Then I lost it.
You can buy that at the Bazaar for free.
Right. And I bought another copy for $9. And you know how far I got in this fucking book? All right. And then I lost that one. And then this one was given to me recently by my friend David Stanek, who you got to connect with David Stanek's School of Drumming. Dave is awesome. And he gave this to me. And this one looks in pretty great shape. But, it still has that colonial drummer, on the cover, and I'm not sure that's what I do in my punk band, Dylan's Report.
It's strange how that drummer hasn't aged yet. How so many
It's not
iterations
aged at
into
all.
the book.
Unlike the rest of us, right? Accents and rebounds, forget about it. I haven't made it past book 1, page 1. Then I had a teacher, and I had basic beats with a working drummer, which I had this book around here somewhere. I can't find it anywhere. And that's where I learned the rumba, the samba, the huaracha, and I learned that I couldn't do any of that shit, and it doesn't matter. Because in my punk band, Dylan's Report, where I still get royalty checks, I don't have to play any of that stuff, right? Now I got this one.
I bet, if Steve Gadd isn't doing it authentically, then neither do you.
No, for sure. Realistic rock. Raise your hand if you did this one. Realistic rock. Now, you're going to love this. I was like reliving this. Look at this. The note I made for myself there. Count. Even and smooth, right? There you go.
What's smoother? What's smoother, your counting or the wine?
The wine is smoother than my counting, for sure. But I wanted to just show you this because, I mean, seriously, is there any doubt why this guy played drums on Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Is that Ron Jeremy?
No, I mean, that's Carmine. Okay, this brings up another thing, Matt. Is it Carmine a Pisces or a PC?
I've always said
Neil Peart.
I've always said a piece.
None of us know. Is it Tama or Tama, Pasty or Pasty? I don't know. And I own a drum shop, and I don't even know these things. And I can't even talk to the Tama rep and go like, is it Tama or Tama? Like what? I mean, you wondering why I wrote a book like The Nihilist Drummer? I mean, are you feeling me about just how frustrating this is? Let me talk about frustrating. Future sounds. Okay, now I want you to contemplate the title of this for a minute, and I want to show you something. Okay,
because it's all paradiddle inversion.
Look at the copyright. Look at the copyright. Can you read that?
Ooh, Alfred. Wait. Oh no. Oh shit. I don't know.
Oh shit. You don't know because it's in fucking Roman numerals, right? Because if they said Future Sounds copyright 1986, like in 1990, they'd go bullshit. That's not any Future Sounds. There are no Future Sounds in there. This is How to Replace David Garibaldi in Tower of Power book is what they should call this. Okay? Fuck that shit. All right. Look at this. I bought this one. Even in the odds. Done. No one wants to hear 1727 time. Okay? No one does. Look. Salisbury Hill, take 5. 2 songs and odd time signatures anyone knows. And most of you don't know one of them.
What about Seven by Pink
odds,
Floyd? No, Pink Floyd, Money.
7 4 times.
Stone Temple Pilots. Isn't there a Stone Temple Pilots song? That's
no one listens to Stone Temple Pilots, Mika.
No. Okay, now let me give you another fuck this book. Most of all training? Are you kidding me? I can't do that. I can't even do a basic sit-up. I bought the book, I read it, and you know what? I'm done with it. Another thing that disappointed me, along with this one, The New Breed. Most of these drummers are not around anymore, including Gary Chester, okay? Now, there is one thing that I really do like about this book. This is the one thing I got out of it. I'm going to quote it. If I can find it. Here we go. It's on concentration. He says, and I quote, one student in describing a lesson with me once said, quote, when I go in for a lesson with you, Gary, the dogs come in and out, your wife comes in, the phone rings, 3 students are in there hanging out for their lessons. Are you all in the same room while I'm having my lesson? Do you expect me to concentrate through all of that? My answer was absolutely. Gary saying absolutely. I'm like, come on, Gary, I'm like a professional. Someone's paying you like $50. The dude works at like a local bar or restaurant or something. He's playing in a wedding band, doesn't know the rumba, the huaracha, doesn't know any of that. He just wants a little bit of guidance. There's no way. Look, if you're convincing a student to work through this book, basically you've signed him up to 75 years of drum lessons. And you can't get your goddamn dogs out of the room, forget about it. All right, this one. Bill Bruford. who cares? I mean, I thought like, who is this guy? He's got like rototoms. That's what I thought. Who plays the rototom? So he must be like me because I'm in 7th grade and I got goddamn rototoms to make me feel like I'm Neil Peart or Pert or however you say his name, right? The rototoms. And I'm like, this guy has a rototom in his drum set, so I ought to buy his book. When in doubt, roll. Well, first of all, that's horrible advice, which I talk about in my book, okay? And the only thing I got from this book is like quotations. Look, T.S. Eliot, of course, one can go too far, and only in directions in which one can go too far is there any interest in going at all. And only in directions in which one can go too far is there any interest in going at all. Well, thank you, Bill, for quoting T.S. Eliot. I didn't need you for that. I could have just gone to the source. Okay, so in my book, The Nihilist Drummer, you know what? I've got a couple quotes, and I'm going to read from my book here momentarily. But the last thing that did it for me was this. This is a page I printed off from the internet. It's hot for teacher. So I was like, you know, you guys, sometimes you're on YouTube and you're like, just like searching around, right? And I see this kid who's like fucking 5 years old, and he's playing like all these songs. And I click on him, he's fucking playing Hot for Teacher. And I go like, oh man, I love that song. I was in high school, right? When that song came out, love to play Hot for Teacher. I'm like,
Hot for Teacher is personally a favorite of mine. I'm a big Hot for
you know
Teacher
what
fan.
I'm talking about, right? And so I'm like watching him. I'm like, how hard can it be? This kid is doing it, right? So I printed off, and I spent like literally like, I can't even do it. Like tapping on my legs, playing on my drums and all that. Forget about it. So I'm like, you know what? All of us have these like drum books. Raise your hand. I can only see a few of you. You have all these drum books where you go like, oh man, I'm going to be this like great drummer. And I didn't even like roll out the rest of my books, right? It's a sampling. And all they do is they sit there in a stack and you go like, you know what? I'm such a lousy person because I'm busy watching like this sort of thing that I'm doing here and not like figuring out the art of bop drumming. Like that's going to do you any good being an accountant or a dentist or figuring out where you're going to get your COVID test. It doesn't do you any good. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write a book that tells the truth about being a drummer. And you're going to read it. And like, you go like, oh, you know, this is like sort of sad or negative, but no, it's like actually validating. Right? And you go,
the truth.
This is going to be the one
Hitting
drummer
them with the
book
truth,
that I
Lane.
own that doesn't depress me. That doesn't depress me. I gotta calm down here for a second.
Lane, I'm living for this so far, just so you know.
Matt, can you post the Zoom link in the Facebook so we can have a live audience? Is that, and then we can just do we'll pin Lane. But
that's what's happening at 9 o'clock.
Brilliant.
Well, Lane, will you stay on with us at 9?
At 9 o'clock. That's an hour from now, right?
Well, for you, 8 o'clock.
Do it.
For me, 8 o'clock.
Well, you don't have anything else to do anyway. Come on.
So
Let's hang out.
Come here, Yachty. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Look at it. My dog's
Oh,
I'm
puppies.
So
So I guess my thought is, let's hear some of the book.
And I'll answer your viewers' questions. I can do that.
Do we have questions? Let's see. Can we hear a couple pages of the Nihilist Drummer? Let's hear a little bit of it.
Absolutely. I'll start from the introduction. Many drummers won't like this book. Frankly, the author doesn't care anyway. So why does this book exist if it even does? The Nihilist Drummer knows that most drummers will be indifferent to it at best, and others will laugh at it. For laughter is a defense to cover up the painful truths of being a drummer, a fleeting salve for the drummer's never-ending struggle. The Nihilist Drummer seeks to lay bare these painful truths. But some drummers cannot handle the truth, and those drummers will harshly criticize the Nihilist Drummer. They'll say it's a negative book and rage against it, only to fall into despair when they realize their unwitting embrace of nihilism. Other critics will boldly assert that the Nihilist Drummer is nothing more than a conceptual ripoff of the very popular book, The Stoic Drummer. So what? Most drummers have a hopeless fixation on copying their favorite drummers anyway, and the author doubts that they will even notice the hypocrisy of their judgments. And in any case, the nihilist drummer has no interest in these moral judgments. So the critics will have to get over it, though they probably never will, because how can you accept that such a negative book that ripped off another will live on long after you? Much better to embrace the abyss. So enjoy the nihilist drummer without expectation that it will make a difference in your drumming, because that's not possible. Drummers have always been who they are, and they'll never change. The previous statement is referencing you. All right. So
Loving
let's
it.
get into some substance here. DW, Drum Workshop, of course. DW determined the pitch of shells. Then we learned that was meaningless.
Great start. I feel like
the greatest drummers in the world. Yes.
I was gonna say if this is the nihilist drummer, I feel like
me? Is that the
I feel like DW would be the elitist drummer. If you're the nihilist drummer, DW is the elitist drummer.
There you go. They are. But you know, we all love DW a little. Jazz drummers will never be replaced by drum machines. Drum machines are too busy working.
Amazing.
Names like paradiddle and flammamacue, I can't even say it, flammamacue, were created to make drummers look dumb. Now you know. Self-congratulatory at reaching 100,000 followers, the Instagram drummer, quote unquote, forgets to post a picture of his mom's basement.
The mom's basement. I love it.
Upon exceeding 200 beats per minute, the death metal drummer reflects on the only thing left in life: faster.
How many pages is the book, Lane?
I have no idea. It's lots of pages. It's thick.
And
wait, where can we get it?
I don't read it or
it.
count it. I only write it.
I know, but I want it.
Who
I want
published
it. I
it?
want it. Yeah.
Well, it's published by Twin Cities Drum Collective. So if you go to Instagram, Twin Cities Drum Collective, however that is, you'll find it there. And there's a link on our website, tcdrumcollective.com. Here's another little sampling. Drumming success is not happiness, though you'll probably never know.
Amazing.
Matt, you'll love this one. Rod Morgenstein made the leap from progressive rock to winger. Who calls that progress?
All right, can you hit us with like the best one, Lane? Give us your best shot here. The knockout punch.
The knockout punch on the nihilist drummer?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, this one means something personal to me, but I don't know whether it will be the knockout punch for everybody. And it takes a little bit of insider information and calculation to maybe land it, but we'll see, okay? More than $1,000 later, you realize that imperfections in manufacturing an old-looking snare drum are definitely not signs of quote-unquote authentic old-world craftsmanship. And those quote-unquote Italian leather washers were probably made in China. And that makes no difference anyway, because they will just wither and turn to dust, making this drum even less tunable.
Wow. That speaks, I feel like, to the Bazaar so much so that it almost hits a chord. Amazing. Well, Dr. Peterson,
I love that Matt is like sticking to the schedule.
We do have several people waiting for the alumni hang, and I'm actually David Ralph is on. I'm gonna let him in and let him know that if you're planning on joining us for the alumni hang, it is a
Which
separate
you all better.
It is a separate link on thirdfloorbazaar.com/expo. David, we were just talking about how the actual link for the alumni hang is if you go to thirdfloorbazaar.com/expo, there's a button that says click here to join us for the alumni hang. That's where we're headed to next. If you want to talk to the man himself, R. David R., first, I would like to thank Lane Peterson, the doctor himself. Lane.
Thank you for having me.
I will be in touch, Lane. Do me a favor, slap your John Hancock on that book. And what we are going to do is we are going to give it away as part of our Deals and Steals giveaways. And if you're planning on joining us for the alumni hang, thirdfloorbazaar.com/expo, there's a button right at the top. John made me put it right at the top. That's where you're going to join us for R. David R. plus Lee Karen. We will see you all there. Mika, if you're not there, you're dead to me. Lane.
I'm already there. I'm already here. Don't even start with me. Don't start. I'll take you outside.
We will see you all there. I'm going to end the call now. Thank you for joining us on the Friday edition of Bazaar Expo. We will see you in just a minute.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
How do I get there?